is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
With smartphones being such an integral part of our daily lives, it is truly an inconvenience when it doesn't work properly. It disrupts the normalcy of our day. When you go into the cell phone store to have it repaired, they just try to upsell you on a new phone. That's why the owner of iDrop, TKL, left those places and opened iDrop. His goal is a happy customer. TKL and the team will listen to what you have going on and work to solve the problem of your broken device in a way that best suit your needs, instead of trying to upsell you on something that you just don't need. They don't just repair phones, they can service your laptop or PC as well as your Mac. Windows 7 support is over, but iDrop can help you transition to Windows 10. They have a 5-star rating on Google with hundreds of positive reviews. Let me say that again. I don't think y'all understand how big this is. They have a 5-star rating on Google. Their customer service really speaks for itself. So if you ever find yourself with a device that isn't performing as it should, give iDrop a call at 865-888-9740 or check them out on Facebook at iDrop of Knoxville. If man made it, they can fix it.
Deep down the middle's got his man, and he's gone. Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain Event with your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Give me 2 rounds and a Ric Flair.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. Guys, it is Friday. We made it. We made it to Friday. It is Friday. Ben McKee, Jason Swain, live here from the Low T Center studio. And joining us via the Irish Networks hotline, it's our guy Seth Stokes, because it is Friday. That's how we do it here on the Swain Event. Bringing our guy Seth Stokes, dialing in all the way from South Carolina. Stokes, man, good morning.
Good morning, fellas. How we doing today?
Man, fantastic, man. Fantastic. It's Friday, Stokes. We got Tennessee football to discuss on a beautiful Friday, man. You ready?
Oh, I'm always ready.
Man, you ready? You good? You good, man?
Always ready.
Are you good, though? Are you good?
I am good.
You sure?
Positive.
All right, man. Let's do it. You know what? Before we do it, before we go there, the BYU football NIL situation is an attaboy. If you missed what happened yesterday, it made national news. It was a awesome gesture of appreciation to the members of a football team that really go unlooked. They are overlooked. Sometimes they're not appreciated because they don't have the star players on the team scoring touchdowns and getting sacks and interceptions, but they are a very important piece of football program. And that is a story of a BYU business, a business that is a sponsor with BYU Athletics, who decided to pick up the tab of all of the walk-on players, the BYU football team. And it makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside when you hear that. It's a great story. It's an attaboy, attagirl for sure, because the tab is being picked up for these players, and they don't have to worry about college tuition for the 2021-22 academics year. But it sure makes you think about what could possibly happen, and how loopholes could be taken advantage of moving forward. And guys, I want to get y'all's take on this before we move on and talk about the Tennessee football scrimmage. But BYU Athletic Department helped. They brokered opportunities for every walk-on member of the football team to sign endorsement deals with a sponsor that will cover the cost of their tuition for at least 1 year. That arrangement, which is possible due to the recent NCAA rule change that allows college athletes to make money from the name, image, likeness, blah, 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 blah. We already know that. All 123 members of the Cougars football program were offered an endorsement deal with protein bar company Built Brands. Scholarship players can receive $1,000 each for representing the company. The 36 walk-on players on the roster were offered what amounts to privately funded scholarships, although the players will be paid directly and can spend that money in any way they choose, according to Associate Athletic Director Gary Vernon. Look at BYU acting like they an SEC football team.
Right.
The difference is they actually probably did this because it's the right thing to do, and they wanted to do right by the scholarship players. An SEC football program will see this and go, "Oh, we can get some more players up in here, past the 85 scholarship limit. We can go around the rules and pay for more talent." Guys, your take on this?
I think it's pretty spectacular. It's good to see the walk-ons get a little love. They are typically the unknowns on a football team, and honestly, if you're a fan of a football team, you don't really want to be real familiar with who your walk-ons are, because that means they're playing way too much. But that doesn't mean that they're not they're not important to the team. So it's good to see them getting some love. Kudos to BYU for helping to broker that deal with Built Brands. And not only are the walk-ons getting that money, the rest of the roster is going to be getting a multi-year NIL agreement that includes branding on practice helmets, experiential events with Built Brands, and social media promotions. So really everybody on the team is going to benefit from this in some way, shape, or form, as will the company itself. But loving the fact that they're showing love to the guys that really don't get much at all, unless you every once in a while you'll have a walk on that shows up and shows out a little bit, but that's really rare, and you're probably not doing a great job as a football program if you're depending on a lot of your walk-ons in game. So kudos again to BYU for brokering that. And like you said, don't think the other conferences aren't taking notice of this and going to figure out ways to use this to their advantage.
I'm with Stokes. This is just awesome. Yeah, there's the conspiracy theories that start to go through your head in terms of how will other programs use this to their benefit in a similar fashion. But first and foremost, this is just simply awesome for the walk-ons and for all the guys on the team. As Stokes mentioned, I'm for whatever puts a little extra coin in the pocket of these players, because it is truly staggering how much money is made off of them, off of their name, image, and likeness, and they don't see any piece of the pie. So I'm all for whatever puts a little extra coin in the pocket of these players. And really cool that the walk-ons don't have to worry about paying for school, because I know that's a big burden. Now, scholarships are on a year-to-year basis, so I would assume that this will be picked up for next year as well, and the year after, because just because you pay for a scholarship this year for a walk-on, it's not necessarily renewed.
No,
they'll have to pick up the check again next year. It's not like a one-time fee, so hopefully they will continue to do so. But I'm a huge fan of this. This is awesome. I love that they're getting some coin in their pocket.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of it too. I'm also a huge fan of finding ways to win if you're Tennessee, and so that's kind of what the second thought in my mind was after I felt all warm and fuzzy inside. Like, I was like, oh man, this is a great story. This is awesome, man. This is easy attaboy for today. But after that, I was like, yo, we kind of below the limit over here. We in the 70s over here, and we got some coin. We got some coin. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't care if I'm on scholarship as long as I don't get an invoice to my house about tuition. I don't have to be on, quote, scholarship. I just don't need to be seeing any invoices from the University of Tennessee if Tennessee was in this position. So it certainly looks like there's a little bit of a loophole there, and we knew this was going to happen. There's going to be loopholes, and there's going to be teams that's going to exploit the loopholes until some type of leadership is going to step forward and administer some rules that is going to even the playing field. But we know we don't have that leadership right now because the NCAA is at their weakest point, and this is why you get in conference alignment moving in the direction that's moving, because we're going to start to see these conferences and schools start to govern themselves. And so it is a interesting possibility that we will be monitoring over the next months and years of what can possibly happen to enhance the roster, get around the scholarship limit rules. Just take notice. But Tennessee football team hit the Nolen Stadium field yesterday, Shield Watkins Field yesterday, for their first scrimmage of fall camp. And this is what I love about fall camp scrimmage, guys. There's not a coach in America who's going to be happy with the first fall camp scrimmage. Not one coach. Go find me one coach. Stokes, I don't know if you witnessed, a coach be ecstatic about where they are as a football team in the first scrimmage. But I have never seen a head coach, ecstatic about the first scrimmage.
No, not at all. It'd be kind of strange if one came out and said they were super excited after one scrimmage in fall camp. There's a lot to work on. They see it firsthand. They know their own expectations. And honestly, I don't think there'll ever be a team in the history of ever that are going to meet a coach's expectations in the first scrimmage.
Nobody will be ready to play the first scrimmage, because what happens is, let's say one side of the football just has a great day. In this case, for Tennessee, this was defense yesterday. Defense was getting after it. We'll get into details during the show, but defense won, quote unquote, won the day yesterday. Okay. Josh Heupel ain't thrilled about that, but he is. And I don't know if people notice this. I noticed this, and this is okay. I think this is the approach he needs to take. But he's super optimistic. Yeah, there's a lot of things to work on. There's a lot of worries and concerns. There's no doubt about it, but there's no reason dumping it on the public August the 13th when you don't even play for another couple weeks, 20 days. So, I mean, there's a lot to fix on offense. There's a lot to fix on defense. No one is ready to play today. Defense had the best day, but that's the way it's supposed to be. You want your defense to be a little bit ahead of your offense in fall camp. If your offense is whooping your defense, running the football up and down the football field, if you have a group consistently exposing another group for 3-4 straight scrimmages, that group is going to be your weakest link during the season, more than likely. So you want some give and take. I don't care if it's the NFL guy. He may not have a good day because, the defense did a good job or the offense did a good job. You want some back and forth. You want some tug. And so I expect the offense in the second scrimmage to have a bounce back day. I expect them to win the day. I'll go ahead and put that out there. I think the offense will win the day because that's the way it's kind of designed in fall camp. One group has the better of the other group one day, and then the other group who lost, they go into the meetings. You harp on the mistakes. You come out, you challenge the guys, and they meet the challenge, and then boom, you have that balance. That's what you want. So defense won the day. Ben, I'll let you touch on what you have heard from practice or the scrimmage, guys that stood out, things that are noteworthy, and then Stokes and I will chime in and follow your lead, man. I know it's been a rough couple hours for you, my friend.
No, that game last night was fun. I honestly wasn't even that upset when the White Sox walked off the Yankees. That was just a really fun baseball game. Best baseball game of the year so far, and a really cool environment. And I was going to put it on Attaboy because it brought back childhood memories for me and just kind of the natural love of the game. And there's kind of a vibe of the bond between father and son in Field of Dreams, and also just kind of the love of baseball as well. So last night was cool. I honestly wasn't even upset that the Yankees lost because of how cool and great the game was. But in terms of Tennessee's scrimmage, sloppiness, that was the key word I heard with Tennessee's offense. Just unforced penalties, false starts, delay of games, things of that nature. So
how you have a delay of game in a fast-paced offense? Man, cancel practice for the day.
Not a ton. The main issues were along the offensive line, and the penalties as a whole with the offense is really what shot them in the foot and helped the defense win the day. Byron Young's the name that stands out the most as having a great day, and he and Roman Harrison putting some pressure on Tennessee's tackles and kind of forcing some havoc up front in the trenches. So that was good to hear. And with the quarterbacks, it was a little good, a little bad with each one of them. Not a ton of separation. Joe Milton obviously has the best skill set out of the three, but it's about learning the system, getting rid of the cobwebs from his days at Michigan. Harrison Bailey, he makes nice plays, but he doesn't have the skill set that a Hendon Hooker or a Joe Milton has. And then Hendon Hooker's probably the most consistent, probably the most steady out of the bunch. But is he going to continue to be aggressive and push the ball down the field? That was something that he did not do in spring. He was kind of timid and was a little hesitant to take shots down the field and be aggressive. He's been better about that this fall camp, and continues to be something that the coaches are harping on with him. So with the quarterbacks in the scrimmage, it was a little bit of good, a little bit of bad.
Yeah, I had heard that DeJohn Terry, the transfer from Kansas, had a pretty good day. And, when you mentioned the offensive line issues and sloppiness with the offense, that would explain usually when the offense is not being successful, there's some type of disruption right close to the football, and DeJoun Terry is that player for Tennessee because he plays right there in the defensive line. So, or the interior of the defensive line. Turnovers from the quarterback position is something to monitor because Hooker and Milton may have more of a physical skill set that will help Tennessee offensively generate some explosive plays. But if you're throwing the ball to the other team, and it don't have to be just in a scrimmage either. It could be the 7-on-7s, things like that. And sometimes with 1-on-1s, you get DBs holding and grabbing, and it's just it just depends on the situation. Like the ball placement is terrible when the receiver's open, then that's going to count against the quarterback. So it just really depends on the play, on the route, on the situation, whether you ding a quarterback on the interception during 1-on-1s. But just because you throw a pick and a drill that's not the scrimmage, you're gonna be held accountable for it. And so, in the last couple of days, Hooker, from what I'm hearing, just needs to do a really good job of taking care of the football when he throws it. But a lot of positivity from Heupel, because I know he is confident. Stokes, he's confident. Like, he ain't even worried that the defense got the best of him the first day, because when you the offensive mastermind and you the head coach, you like, yeah, it's all right. We'll bounce back. But Heupel seemed to be very confident about where the offense is today, even though defense got the best of him yesterday.
No, of course he is. I mean, that's his baby. He's gonna be confident in what he does, and I just wonder, with the whole drama around Brian Maurer, like how much does that affect an offensive player going into a practice like this? Like you're trying to get better, and you got a quarterback over here acting a fool and can't make up his mind whether he wants to be here or not because he don't like the reps he's getting or whatever. Or is he just the dude that they're just used to it from? I just wonder if that plays into it. It's just, the offensive side of the football has a bad day after he decides to start skipping out on practice.
Stokes, I don't think he has anything to do with it, man, because I think, players on that team are like, that's Maurer being Maurer.
Yep, they know how he is.
They know how he is. They just kind of ignore him. He's like, like I got 3 kids, and I'm really used to now, with a dog, I'm really used to ignoring kids when they cry.
Yes.
You just ignore them. And I think these players on this team have just become immune to, the antics and are not going to allow that to be a distraction. So I don't even think that has anything to do with it. I just think that the defense got the best of them, and it's harder to play offense. Like, you just have to be more precise about, your communication, about your chemistry. This is why the defense typically wins the first scrimmage, because an offensive line is kind of like a synchronized swimming team. Like, they all have to be one. There's 5 guys that have to be one. And in your first scrimmage, I mean, what do you expect? It's a new system. There's some new pieces in there. Like, I expected the offensive line to play the way they played the first scrimmage. Now, when they come back, I expect them to respond and play very well and make those adjustments and corrections. This is why you want to scrimmage, and you want correctable film. We always talk about the first game. Playing a team where you can make a lot of corrections because you can fix a lot of issues from game 1 to game 2. Well, the first scrimmage is no different. There's going to be a ton of correction. They may not have practice, but they're going to be in that film room, and every single play will be broken down. There will be times, guys, where, like, we spend 5-10 minutes on one play. Like, I mean, it is broken down to the detail. So expect that today. But I don't think the players care anything about what Brian Maurer talking about. I think
good. I'm glad that you feel that way. And correctable film is you took the word right out of my mouth with that one, man. That's something you and I have talked about ad nauseum to start seasons for years now, and it's good to get that. And hearing and seeing some comments from Heupel, You know, if he ain't worried, I ain't worried.
Yeah,
like they'll get it right, and if they don't, my expectations really are low this season, so I'm not super it's not gonna bother me too much if this continues to happen, honestly. As far as them just not looking super crisp and super great all the time, I don't expect them to. I don't expect this to be a super exciting year. I expect them to play hard, and let's play hard. Let's limit, don't shoot yourselves in the foot too many times. That part get cleaned up. Everything else is what it is.
Did y'all notice Josh Heupel when he was asked the second time about Brian Maurer?
Pretty much said, I done told you, I'll tell you later.
Hey, man, I thought Heupel was like, hey, didn't I just tell your ass? Huh?
Right.
Didn't I tell you? I just told you. Didn't I tell you? Huh? I thought I told you already that I was going to tell you later. That I was going to talk to Brian Maurer later. Don't ask me no more.
He's going to come out to the next media availability with some Q-tips.
Man, I know, right? Is your ears dirty? Huh? I told you already. I will talk to Brian later. Is he a part of this team? Which is a great question. I mean, It's a great question. This is a situation where, I respect the hell out of the reporter for asking a good question, and I respect Heupel, who's the head coach, for doing his job and protecting his players. He don't need to get in detail. That's locker room business, and there's a time and place for him to share that information. It ain't right now. I respect both sides. This is a great question. We all want to know the status of Brian Maurer. Because remember, I said it yesterday. All right, he wasn't in practice, but what does that mean? He taking a time out? He's in the penalty box? Is he off the team? Or is he going to come back after a day? What's the status? I said this, I think it was yesterday, the day before yesterday. So the question was good, but the answer was good too. Look at Heupel, man. Listen, man,
I like it.
I told you I would tell you later. I would talk to Brian Maurer later. And he did it in a really subtle, respectful way. And that's part of being a head coach. Some people can't handle that. That may seem like a small thing, but that's one of the minor details of what it takes to be a head coach. The difference between being a coordinator and being a head coach. You're a coordinator. You Tim Banks. What Brian Maurer got to do with you? You Alex Golis. Yeah, you the coordinator, but you ain't making the final decision. You don't have to talk to him as much as a head coach, and you sure don't have to answer questions from the media about him. Heupel handled that well. Good job, Heupel. Good job. I still think, Stokes, it'd be awesome if coaches and people that spoke to the media had translators, truth translators of how they really felt. I know this man just asked me the same question. Man, if one more person asks me this question again, man, I swear I'm going to flip this whole table over. I swear.
Heupel looked at him and thought, are you stupid, deaf, or dumb? Which one is it?
I know you heard me answer this question a minute ago. I'm not going to slip up. You ain't going to catch me slipping out here.
But again, the question has to be asked. I mean, you can't not ask it, but like you said, Heupel handled it well. It is good. It's, like you said, locker room business. When that business is handled, we'll find out about it.
Yeah. So people, you can give us a call. Stokes is on with us today. We made some Omaha adjustments to the studio. So if you want to get in on the conversation, Stokes is here. I know there's been times in the past where Turkey Bean tried to get in, and it was sad that we couldn't talk to Stokes while we had you on. But Omaha, we made some adjustments, and Stokes, you're sounding great today. And folks, if you want to give us a call and chop it up with us three, you can do that while we have Stokes for another 30 minutes here on the Swain Event. Fueled by Dead End Barbecue, hour number 1 is brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Ben McKee, Jason Swain, so Stokes, be right back.
If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. IrisNetworksUSA.com.
If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the big orange action is. Go to HamptonInn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill, or call 865-693-5400.
Good morning, Swain Event crew. As the weather heats up, so does our market, and from Johnson City to Knoxville, eager buyers are grabbing up many available properties. The chili is hot in East Tennessee, so if you are ready to buy or sell or want to talk more about our local real estate market, I'm just a phone call away. Or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
With smartphones being such an integral part of our daily lives, it is truly an inconvenience when it doesn't work properly. It disrupts the normalcy of our day. When you go into the cell phone store to have it repaired, they just try to upsell you on a new phone. That's why the owner of iDrop, T. Kell, left those places and opened iDrop. His goal is a happy customer. T. Kell and the team will listen to what you have going on and work to solve the problem of your broken device in a way that best suit your needs, instead of trying to upsell you on something that you just don't need. They don't just repair phones, they can service your laptop or PC as well as your Mac. Windows 7 support is over, but iDrop can help you transition to Windows 10. They have a 5-star rating on Google with hundreds of positive reviews. Let me say that again. I don't think y'all understand how big this is. They have a 5-star rating on Google. Their customer service really speaks for itself. So if you ever find yourself with a device that isn't performing as it should, give iDrop a call at 865-888-9740 or check them out on Facebook at iDrop of Knoxville. If man made it, they can fix it.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
Seth Stokes, Jason Swain, Ben McKee. Let's get to the Iris Networks hotline. Let's get to DR Vol. DR Vol, good morning.
Guys, it's Good Friday when not only can you hear Stokes, you can call in and talk to him.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
This is a question for all of you, and Stokes, really like your comedic input. How much would y'all pay to watch a reality show of Jeremy Pruitt in the Big Apple?
Probably $2.99 a month.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's streaming on a service I already paid for, then sure.
Whose ugly dog is that barking?
That's my dog. Non-stop with that thing.
Oh, man, I'm messing with you.
You know, I did enjoy Pruitt.
Tell the truth.
I didn't enjoy Pruitt getting fired. That's what I was going to say.
Oh,
no, I did
good
enjoy
comeback.
Heupel being able to have an actual answer instead of, guys, I'm just here to coach football.
Yeah. I mean, Heupel's answer just let it be known that he had a plan going into it. Also, I see a little bit of protecting Maurer. At some point, there's going to have to be a resolution that's public, whether he's on the team or is not. But man, you can continue to protect him right now because it's fresh, like it just happened, and so let it die down a little bit. And then if you want to part ways, cool, whatever. So I respect kind of the approach from Heupel, to be honest. But he's in a weird situation, man, because Maurer's been vocal, and sometimes he can deceive you if you just watching him on Twitter. Man, you would think he's doing everything right and being unselfish and being the best leader on the team just because of tweets. So, Heupel has to be very, very precise and clear in his message to Brian Maurer when they talk.
I mean, I doubt he gets like a psychiatric evaluation on all the players when he first got there. But, I mean, he had to have known a little bit about Maurer. We all remember that TikTok about him going to LSU. What was it, 2 years ago?
I think when Heupel was named the coach, just like with anything and everything, that Heupel was briefed on, all right, this is what to expect from Knoxville. This is what to expect from recruiting. This is what to expect from local media. And here's some little notes about players on your team. I'm pretty sure that Heupel was briefed about that. But at the same time, you give everyone a fresh start. You give everyone an opportunity to prove who they are to you, not just hearsay. Because I've heard terrible things about you, DR Vol, from people, and they wrong, man. You're a pretty good dude.
Yeah, I tell that all the time when they argue with me about it. And the hard thing for Heupel, too, with Maurer is if he's too harsh, he comes out as somebody that doesn't support the troops, and you don't want that when you have him coach the game.
Yeah. So it's being handled the right way so far.
Stokes, what we drinking this weekend?
Ooh, it's supposed to be a hot one, so probably something light and crisp on this hot summer weekend. I'd say I'll probably go find me some Yeehaw Kolsch or something like that.
How about some water?
I've been on a bot kick lately for some reason, even though it is 130 degrees out.
What's the temperature going to be down there? Up there,
but box
over there.
A little malty for the weather for me.
Stokes, what's the temperature going to be over there?
Hot, humid. It's I'm gonna pull up the old weather app real fast. I'll tell you.
Like you're over there thinking about the heat, not being able to breathe.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is it gonna be the same?
That's what the temperature's gonna be. Can't breathe.
Is it gonna be the same temperature as it was the day of your wedding?
Man, it feels like once the late spring hits, it's always that temperature. Rarely do we have something that's not, unless there's a storm moving in. But then it's just heavy because of all the humidity in the air. But like tomorrow is going to be no cloud in the sky, mid-90s, just a broiler.
Nah, man. Y'all can have that. I'm good. All right, DR Vol.
Go ahead, get
well,
your
guys,
gig
I
in.
got to get off here, but go Sox.
The Red Sox lost yesterday, DR Vol.
Can't never one of us say nothing about our baseball teams today.
Braves are in first place, aren't they?
Yeah, but they they were tied for first going into yesterday, but they took a bad L to the Reds last night.
Ooh, I saw one of the guys Winkler hit a grand slam for the Reds.
Yeah, Braves took that 12-3 loss last night.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Swain
run ruled.
Swain can talk about his baseball team today, Stokes.
Oh, I ain't gonna do that, man. I'm a good friend.
Are you?
I'm a good friend, man. It was like you said earlier. It was a great moment. It was a really cool deal for Major League Baseball.
So cool.
I mean, they've bought so many things over the years, but man, they got this one right. They nailed this. It was beautiful. I'll be honest, I haven't watched Field of Dreams just because your reason, the father-son bond that's in that movie, baseball. So I haven't experienced that, and so that movie never really appealed to me like that. But I do have a lot of respect because Kevin Costner is a great actor. He's made awesome movies, and that movie is so popular. And that moment was just so cool to throw it back, man. Throw it back. Baseball is a game of just it's so pure in a lot of ways, and so that was cool. But yeah, man, White Sox won, but I ain't gonna rub it in. It's not like I follow the White Sox like you follow the Yankees, so I don't think it hits the same. Now, if the Bears beat the Steelers, I'm walking up in here with a bear costume.
You see the Steelers won last night?
Hey, I'm walking up in here. I'm going all the way out, man.
You're Smokey the Bear, Swainy the Bear.
Yeah, man. I'm going to go rent a costume. I'm walking up in here. I'm going next level trolling, DR Vault style.
Like when Eric Berry single-handedly beat the Falcons and I walked in the next day with the Eric Berry Chiefs jersey.
Yeah. Or when
Why
the
you
Bears.
bringing up old stuff?
When the Falcons lost one day and I walked in with a gift basket for Stokes because I knew he would be sick. It had soup in it and ice packs and a car with the flowers.
That's when the Falcons lost the NFC Championship game in 2012, I think it was.
Yeah.
Nothing beats Swain having his kids put together get-well cards for Brad after the Ravens lost in the playoffs.
Hey, man.
At the time, Swain only had one kid when he did the gift basket. But yeah, I could imagine getting get-well soon cards from the little ones.
They thought
that's next level, man.
The best part was they thought something was like legit wrong with Brad. They thought Brad was legit sick.
It served dual purposes, man. I got my troll in on Brad, and we worked on their penmanship. I mean, we had school over here, man, so it was good. It was good. It was real great. So,
that's spectacular.
All right, let's go back to the phones.
We've got Justin in Florida.
Justin, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. How we doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. Yeah, that was a really cool game on TV last night. That's just a really good experience, and I think baseball in general needs to find more creative ways to draw people in. Because when I called in, I think it was Ben took the call. I said that I bet the ratings on that game were probably the highest for the year.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, baseball's been dying a little bit each year, and I think they need to definitely do more of that stuff.
What team did you root for last night?
For you.
Hey, Justin, what team did you root for last night in that game?
Honestly, that's a tough one. I'm gonna say the White Sox, but it pains me to see Michael Kopech, who was part of the Red Sox farm system for so long, and we had to give him up in order to get Chris Sale. And I really, 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 really like that kid. And to see him out there last night, I mean, he throws absolute just seeds.
Wait.
I mean, he is going to be so good for so long.
Wait a minute.
That pains me, but
Justin, wait a minute now. How are you going to be a Red Sox fan and that question is hard to answer?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
How is that question hard to answer, Justin?
Hey, trust me, when your Red Sox are 3-7, and a lot of it's based around bad pitching, trust me, you'd like to see Michael Kopech in your rotation right now.
That's fair.
That's why I said, I want to see the Yankees lose, but that answer's a little bit tougher to give than just, oh yeah, I'm rooting for the White Sox. Well, White Sox got a guy I'd kill to have in the system right now.
And you did at one point.
Yeah, correct. And I knew that one. I knew that one would be painful to watch later.
My hate for a rival was so deep that when Ernie Johnson talked to Alabama, at first I didn't even care about his message because it was Alabama. I didn't care. Like, I didn't care if he shared the ingredients to cure world hunger and every disease in it. I didn't care because it was Alabama.
And you know something? I agree with you, Swain, but I'm telling you right now, my Red Sox are floundering, and I called this one 3 weeks ago that they were headed this direction. So I hate to say it, I'm almost kind of giving up on baseball and my team right now because they didn't make the moves that they should have made at the trade deadline, and it's showing big time now.
I got you. All right. I know you called in and talk about Tennessee football, so let me shut up.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're rubbing salt in the wound, brother.
I'm sorry. My bad.
That's okay. Hey, Swain, I wanted to ask you, I didn't play college football. I didn't go through fall camp. And, one thing you've mentioned on the show is it's definitely a grind. Have you heard how guys bodies are holding up? I mean, because I got to think if they're running a whole bunch of plays come season, that they're practicing running a whole bunch of plays in practice. In fact, one of the pictures I saw the other day, you had 3 quarterbacks all throwing at the same time, and wide receivers were just cycling through like really, really quick. Usually in the heat, bodies start breaking down. Have you heard how that's looking right now and what the staff maybe is doing to kind of, temper that? I'm going to hang up and listen.
Hey, thank you, Justin. No, I have not heard, but I don't think I need to hear anything. I just know how fall camp is, and this is the only time in 12 months. So, your 12-month cycle of being a college football player, the month of August is the only time when you're in full pads and you're grinding 2 hours, 3 hours, an hour and a half a day in this type of weather with the amount of intensity that is, put forth. And there's going to be some guys super sore, especially after the first day. Take some time off lifting and then go lift and then see how you feel. It's kind of the same thing. These are different muscles that are being used. You can run all day in shorts. You can run all day in spandex and summer conditioning, and your body get used to it. That's when you become in shape. But now you're wearing pads. Now you're hitting. There's different muscles. The receivers, you have different things going on than maybe a lineman. For receivers, I know them toes and feet are hurting. Them bunions and corn chips down there, woo, hurting. And so, yes, you're going to experience a lot of soreness. I can only imagine how the receivers feel right now. I can only imagine how, the players are getting a lot of reps, how they feel right now. Because this is a time when you hit that wall. This is a time when every single day you should be getting in the ice bath. And out there practice at Haslam Field, there's about 8, I think I saw 6 to 8 ice tubs, huge ice tubs. And it's for guys right after practice to jump in and help restore their body's muscles and be able to recover for the next day. But I can only imagine that guys are sore and beat up, Justin.
The receivers need to be on the jugs machine. Is what they need to be after their performance yesterday. It wasn't just the penalties that hampered the offense. Pre-snap penalties, dropped passes, They need to be on the jugs machine as we speak. Forget your off day. You better be on the jugs machine all day today.
Yeah, the off day is it's usually loosely. You may not have and it depends on what kind of activities that Hypo has, planned. When we had fall camp and we had an off day, it was on a Sunday, and we went to church together. One other time we went to, like a picnic or some type of thing like that together. So what does Hypo have planned for his team to do during the off day to fill up that time? If guys have time, then you're absolutely right, Ben. You should be getting on your jug machines. You better be getting in that rice bucket. After you watch that film, if you've dropped the football, you better be doing something to rectify the situation and make sure it doesn't happen again. So most coaches make getting in the ice tub you better do it. Like I remember Trooper was like, guys, every practice we get in the ice tub. That's what we're doing. So I think those ice tubs are out there for a reason. Those huge ones. It ain't there for looks. It's there because they have been encouraged to use them. This team has to be really smart about taking care of their bodies and using the ice tub and stretching and doing the prehab work because this team can't afford a ton of injuries. 865-255-03. Got about 7 minutes with Stokes. If you want to get in on the conversation, you can do that. The Irish Networks hotline. 90 days, no payment for business internet. Kayron Pruitt hit the transfer portal. He's a transfer from Kansas, went to South Carolina, and he hit the transfer portal yesterday. That was announced, and that's where we are with college football. You don't know the reasons why, so you don't want to jump to conclusions. I had heard that he wanted to get closer to home. You certainly understand that if that's the case, because he has family. You never know what's going on there with family, and you want to be around them if something is going on. But they're just weird, man. It's just weird to see a young man transfer, use a one-time transfer, and then before halfway of fall camp, transfer again. But you just never know the personal reasons why someone is making the moves that they're making. But that did happen. So if we would have gotten him, if it was personal, it wouldn't have mattered if he was at South Carolina or Tennessee. He probably would have left here too. So Tennessee seems like they dodged a bullet because you need a player that is going to be here, regardless of if it's a personal matter or whatever. Like, you need someone that's going to be here. And from also what I've heard, that Kamal Hatton, did a good job of competing and making some plays on the football. So, Lante Taylor, better step it up. You better step it up, because I think the last thing you want to see is a returning starter who's a senior that had went to Birmingham to represent the team on Tennessee's media days not be the starter. I mean, and Warren Burrell is coming. Kamal Hatton had a good day yesterday. So this is what you want if you're a Tennessee fan. If you're Tennessee, Tim Banks and Willie Martinez, you want to see the competition. You want guys to feel uncomfortable and feel like they got to play at a top level to keep their job. But Alante, let's go, man. Warren Burrell did it to you already. Don't let Kamal Hatton come and take your spot.
I think Burrell's going to lock down one side of the field.
You think so?
Yep, I think so. He's looked impressive, in my opinion, Burrell, the first week or so. Just from a physical standpoint, I've seen him make a couple plays. Obviously, we're not there the entire practice, and I haven't even been able to go to every practice because they practice at the same time as the show. But he looks good physically as well, just his body. He reminds me of Emmanuel Mosley in kind of that progression.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe feels a little too small at the beginning of his career, but by the time he was an upperclassman, looks perfectly fine. That's kind of where Warren Burrell's at for me.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to tomorrow, man. Tomorrow they'll be hitting the practice field. They're not scrimmaging, but I'll be out there tomorrow, checking it out, man. So we'll see who's able to bounce back after having a day off of scrimmage. Who has moved up? Who has that confidence? Who hit a wall? I'll be able to see that tomorrow. Tremel asks, "You don't have to submerge your whole body, do you? You're talking about the ice tubs." I don't. I didn't submerge my body. For me, it was about the waist down.
Getting your legs back.
Yeah, that's what it's about, man.
Sounds like Stokes is going to be trying to find a ice bath this weekend with
some air conditioning.
Man,
I think you should find an ice bath in the air conditioner.
Ooh, that's too cold.
Best of both worlds.
It's like it's 30. It's probably high 30s, low 40 degrees. When you get in there.
Mm-hmm.
And man, the facilities are so crazy over there now, and it was all right when I was there, but like those ice tubs are already ready. I mean, they ready. They have the thermometer right there, and you know exactly what the temperature is before you get in. Some guys prefer putting the little booties over their toes because they didn't want the toes to get too cold. So they get you put those little booties over your feet.
That would be me.
Yeah, definitely you, definitely you.
Big fan of the booty.
Where's the booties? I don't see the booties. I need the booties. I can't get in here without the booties now. I need to put the booties on to protect my toes.
Big fan of the booty.
I would have just jumped on in. All right, Petey Pablo over there. Stokes?
Petey Pablo. What's up?
You'll get it y'all get it when y'all get home. If you haven't left the house yet, you'll probably get it before you get back. Stokes, besides drinking all the beer this weekend, which is going to be a hot one, a scorcher there for you, man. What else is going on for you this weekend, man?
Man, making a day trip down to Georgia for it's the grandparents' it's their 60th wedding anniversary on my mom's side, so I'm gonna go see them celebrate, and then gotta put brakes on the wife's van.
60 years.
Early tomorrow morning before it gets hot, before we gotta leave, and then taking and the middle kid likes WWE, so we're going to one of their house shows in Columbia on Sunday, and that was one of his birthday presents.
Oh man,
so it's gonna be a busy weekend.
Yeah,
not gonna be a ton of time to just sit and relax.
No, man, get it all out now before the football games will start to be played, because once those games are played,
exactly,
the kids like, I want to do this. No. Daddy watching football. You had your chance preseason.
Yes.
do all this stuff. I watch football on Saturdays. Go play PlayStation or something. Stokes, man, appreciate it, man. Had a good time today, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like hearing from the callers. It's always good to be able to chop it up with the listeners. A lot of fun. I'm glad we're able to do it this way. So y'all be safe this weekend and enjoy whatever it is y'all gonna be doing and go Vols.
Says Stokes. Appreciate you, Stokes. 60 years, man. 60-year wedding anniversary for his grandparents. 60 years.
That's amazing.
60 years. You can't tell me that one day out of those 60 years you don't wake up and go, it's you again. It's you. Ugh.
That is really cool. That is really cool. And speaking of grandparents, yesterday was my late granddaddy's 77th birthday. So happy birthday to my granddaddy. Miss you every day.
For sure, man. For sure. There's only one way to go after that statement, man. Let's take a break, and we'll come back on the other side with hour number 2. More Tennessee scrimmage conversation here on the Swain Event. 865-255-03 is our telephone number to the Iris Networks hotline. Jason Swain, Ben McKee, hour number 1 was brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. HappyHiller.com. Be right back.
is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
When you see the happy face on our truck, you'll be smiling because you'll know that you're in love.
At Hiller, we care about your family's comfort all year long. If you get caught without air conditioning this summer, we're offering a free service call with any repair. That's a free service call when we do the work on your HVAC system. Visit happyhiller.com to schedule your appointment today.
Call the happy face truck today.
Touchdown or turnover is backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Hey, Ben, you want to go Dead End Barbecue?
Yes.
You want to go right now?
Not right now because it's not open. I know you have connections. Could probably let us in.
I don't know about 8 a.m. That might be a little too early right there. That might be a little too early, my friend. Maybe like at 10:59, I can get a connection to get in. They open at 11.
I have found a new way to do Dead End Barbecue. I didn't think it was possible since I've been a bazillion times and have had a bazillion different items on the menu, but you were talking up Dead End on Wednesday during the show, and it made me really hungry, and I made the comment on air. I don't know if you remember, but I said, "You're making me hungry."
Yeah.
And it truly made me crave either the Bernie Mac or the Mac Attack for like the next couple of hours. So after I got done on campus with media availabilities and talking to the coaches and the players, I stopped by Dead End, and I was by myself, and I pulled up a seat at the bar, got me a nice adult beverage, ordered me a Bernie Mac, devoured it, ordered me a small banana pudding, devoured that, and got up on out of there. 25 minutes I was there, and I had a nice, large adult beverage, Bernie Mac, and a banana pudding.
That's the way to do it right there, man.
That's right, and the hospitality was awesome.
Yeah, definitely at the bar, man.
So
I
have found a new way. Please, nobody knows who I am. I have found
everybody's a star when you're at the bar.
That's true.
Because you're right there in front, and the bartender is taking care of you, man.
That's my new way to do Dead End, though. Truly, I mean, that was. I almost texted you and asked if you wanted to go, but I knew you had
crazy
other stuff going on with doctor's appointments and all that stuff with the kiddos. So, now they want to call me and tell me that my flooring's in during the show when they were supposed to call me 2 days ago. Thanks, big box store.
You sound like a grown-up.
But that's my new way to do it. Like, if I'm craving Dead End, but I can't go in and sit down for a long period of time, the bars, I'm going to do it from now on. Quick, simple, and easy.
Yeah, and that's right. Right there by campus. So, if you got some time to burn and you know that you don't want to go all the way back to the house, but you want to be close to the campus, you can go Dead End Barbecue. It's right there next to campus. So that's a great setup for you. Touchdown or turnovers backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong. Better rates and better service. ESPN FPI predicts Tennessee's football season. We're going to see how correct this FPI really is. Right now, they have Tennessee going 6-6, 500. Touchdown or turnover. You agree with their FPI prediction at this point? At this point.
Of 6-6.
You agree with their prediction?
Touchdown. I think Tennessee gets to 6. I think if everything goes great, Tennessee gets to 7. But I think Tennessee's starting 22 is good enough to get to 6 wins. And again, as we have had the discussion before, part of that is because Tennessee's schedule is not that difficult this year by typical SEC football scheduling standards or what we've come to expect from Tennessee. It's just not. You don't have to worry about at Oklahoma or welcoming Oklahoma. First year, Josh Heupel doesn't have to worry about first year Jeremy Pruitt's game against West Virginia and Charlotte, and it's the best West Virginia team in 15 years.
Yeah, or going to Oregon.
That was my next
Butch,
point.
yeah.
You don't have to worry about going out to Oregon week 2 when Oregon's ranked number 2, number 3 in the country with the Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback and Marcus Mariota. So the schedule sets up pretty well. It's not easy because you still play at Alabama. You still play at Florida. You play Georgia. It's still the SEC. Lane Kiffin's offense is not going to be fun to deal with. But on the flip side of that, you do get Ole Miss as your second West team compared to, Auburn teams of the past or LSU teams of the past that Tennessee has gotten. Ole Miss, their offense scares me, but Tennessee should theoretically be able to put up points on the defense. You get Pittsburgh, and that to me is a 50-50 game, a game Tennessee is very capable of winning. You got Missouri, capable of winning. Kentucky, you're capable of beating Kentucky. South Carolina, Vanderbilt. There are winnable games on the schedule to get you to 6 wins in addition to the cupcake games. So I say touchdown.
Yeah, I say touchdown too, man. I mean, that doesn't mean that that's going to be the final record, but I think that's a really good prediction at this point of the season, which is the preseason before we have played a game. But you look at the personnel, you look at personnel of other teams, and I mean, I don't think it's too far off. I don't think it'll be off by more than a game. I think I'm pretty confident saying that I don't see Tennessee winning 8, and I don't see Tennessee only winning 4. So I think it will be in that range of 6-6. The FPI, according to ESPN, has Tennessee chances of beating Bowling Green at 77.6, Pitt, 51.9. Tennessee Tech, 99.3. Florida.
They have Tennessee at 99.3% chance of beating Pitt.
Tennessee Tech.
Tennessee Tech, sorry.
Florida, 16.2%. Missouri, 40.9%. South Carolina, 68.8%. Ole Miss, 41.8%. Alabama, 4.4% chance. Kentucky, 41.4%. Georgia, 18.2%. South Alabama and Vanderbilt, it's all over 87% for those two teams. Over 87%. So, I think it's pretty fair. I think that's pretty fair. No disagreements from me on that one from ESPN.
Now, can we overreact to some details that came out about the scrimmage? At least I'm going to overreact.
Go for it.
Because I think it does tie in to the schedule. Because I've been saying the last week or two, I've really, since fall camp, I was feeling good about what I was seeing from the receivers. I was feeling better than I thought I would about Tennessee starting 5 offensive linemen. And I do think naturally the quarterback position is going to be better. How much better? I have no idea. But I have a hard time believing that it won't be generically better than it was last year.
I think it's going to be significantly better.
I hope so. But I'm in believe it when I see it mode.
Because not because necessarily we're going to be that great. It's because last year it was just that bad.
Yes. So I'm still in believe it when I see it mode.
I got you.
So I was like feeling good about those areas I just spoke about for the first week or so of camp. It made me feel better about the season, not in terms of going out and competing for the East or beating Alabama, Georgia, Florida, but in terms of getting to 6 or 7 wins. I was feeling good about that because I was seeing 4-8 predictions, 5-7 predictions, and I think it's absurd, the 4-8 prediction. I would be stunned if Tennessee only won 4 games. I truly would. 5-7, a little believable. I could see this team being 5-7 if it doesn't come together the way that we think it does. But I lean more towards 6 or 7 wins, again, mainly because of the schedule. But let's overreact to 2 of the scrimmage notes that came out, and it's kind of dampened my confidence in maybe Tennessee getting to 6 wins. And again, we're overreacting. At least I am. Swain can talk me off the ledge. Receivers dropping passes, and the offensive line struggling. I know it's the first scrimmage, but I didn't expect that to be the case, even for it being the first scrimmage. So that has me a little bit worried because I thought that was going to be 2 of the better strengths on the team, quite frankly.
Bag up, Terry. Put in reverse, Terry.
Don't jump, Ben. Bag up. First scrimmage. I would feel like you if we are hitting the 3rd scrimmage and these are problems that continue. See, I look for reoccurring themes. That's when it becomes a problem. Like, that's how I look at it. You have a bad day? All right, everyone has a bad day. It's hot. You're tired. You're beat up. Who knows? The sun was in your eyes. Maybe it was a bad ball. Maybe you tried to run before the catch. Whatever. It could be anything. It's a bad day. But if we come back, 2nd scrimmage, we come back, practice after the 1st scrimmage, and I'm seeing the same things, and it's not being corrected, and it's not changing, all right, now I'm like, this is a problem. Because remember, last year, when we talked about the defensive line, at this point of the fall camp, I was like, guys, I don't know about this defensive line, and it's going to be our weakness. I don't like what I'm seeing. And the reason why I said that, because there was days put together where the defensive line had struggled. It wasn't just a one-time deal. It wasn't a one-day deal. It was a week. All right, it was a second scrimmage. Okay, well, this is going to be an issue this season. And it was. So you may be right, Ben, to overreact, to have the correct reaction right now, but I just don't think there's enough evidence to have an overreaction because they could possibly just have a bad day.
Let me ask you this, because this is where the concern stems from. Like, I get the whole first scrimmage thing, still somewhat at the beginning of fall camp, creeping towards the middle. Well, I guess you practically are at the halfway point of fall camp now. It just kind of doesn't seem like you're at the halfway point because there's only been one scrimmage. But 13th, 13 more days, it'll be game week.
Mm-hmm.
So you are at the halfway point. Like, I get that it's the first scrimmage, and I agree with what you're saying, but it feels like some of these things should be automatic, even for a first scrimmage. It's particularly with the receivers catching the football. I mean, Cody Burns was talking to the media earlier this week, and the thing he said that he wanted to see from his receivers, catch the football.
It's a concern, but it's not a reason to overreact.
Okay.
I think an overreaction would be warranted if you feel like he was going to be a huge problem during the season. Mm-hmm. And I just don't have enough evidence to say that it will be. Now, if I'm Cody Burns, I'm getting on the receivers. It's unacceptable. That's literally your job. You a wide receiver. Your job is to catch the ball. So
First and foremost.
There's three reasons. There's three things that like if I'm a receiver coach, it is a sin. Number one, not playing hard, right? That's for any position. But number two, falling at the top of your route. That's a cardinal sin. Because you ain't catching any balls if you can't get open. So you better be able to get in and out of your breaks with precision, and you better have balance. And if you don't, that's on me as a coach. And then it's on you as a player. It can't happen. And number three is catching the football. That's just concentration. That's all that is. That's not a physical limitation. That's just concentration. That's it. That's trying to do too much too fast. That's not, catching the ball and looking it through all the way through the tuck. That's all that is. That's concentration. And so I'm challenging my guys. And we had to, like for drops, what are we doing? We just doing push-ups? Everybody does that. Get on the side, do little push-ups. But, I remember our fall camp, and I remember I used to get mad.
Everybody was held accountable, right?
Yeah, I used to get mad because our first day we had a ton of drops, which is always the day you have the most. But for every drop, we had to run for each drop. I forgot what we had to do. I think it was like a suicide or something like that. And I was mad because all summer long I was catching 100 balls a day in the jugs, and I don't drop the ball. I was like, hey, y'all need to be catching the ball out here. But it wasn't like y'all. It was us, because if I catch all my passes in the game, but someone else dropped their pass in the game, and it's third down and 7 on a key possession, we all lose. We all drop that ball. So, but when you have a situation like that where if you don't do your job, everyone suffers, it just puts more pressure on you to do your job. So maybe that's what needs to happen with the receivers. You drop a pass,
everybody runs.
The other guy don't have to do push-ups, typically. But if you drop a pass, start making a tally of it. And after practice, everybody's running for a drop pass. So, and I mean routes versus air, I mean drills, I mean 7-on-7, 1-on-1s, scrimmage. Every single thing you do in between the white lines, if a receiver puts the ball on the ground, it is a mark. And after practice, if you add it up as a group, and I don't care if it's walk-ons too, you add it up, and if it's 27 drops, 15 drops, 7 drops, 3 drops as a group, there's discipline that needs to be administered. There's some accountability that needs to take place. And I guarantee you right now, the drops will go down. Guarantee you. I will guarantee you.
I know if I dropped a pass and my teammates had to run because of me, I know I would have an increased amount of focus and concentration. And you just said it. Catching the football is all about concentration.
It's all it is.
And if I knew that my teammates and myself running after practice was on the line, if I did not catch the football, I would have a highly increased level of concentration on my next route. Now let's overreact in a positive way, Swain.
Can you do that?
Yes.
All right.
You know, I am Mr. Positivity. Do not forget that.
Okay.
I am Mr. Glass Half Full.
Okay.
I was not expecting to hear about the defense what I heard. I was that stunned me. I expected the offense to push around the defense. I expected that. And let's make an asterisk and let the asterisk read what you said earlier in the show, that typically the defense is ahead of the offense at this point. So maybe that's the case. We'll see where Tennessee stands in about 2 to 3 weeks. But I asked Josh Heupel about the level of physicality, what he thought about the level of physicality and scrimmage number 1 and how has it been throughout fall camp. And he talked about not a lot of missed tackles. That was music to my ears. I love the sound of that. I wasn't necessarily expecting that. But maybe I should have, because I do like Tennessee starting 11. It's just the depth behind the starters that really worry me. But it sounds like the newcomers, you mentioned Kamal Hadden, you mentioned DeJohn Terry, and we've been talking about DeJohn Terry. That boy, after Elijah Simmons and D. Beckwith.
that boy.
After Elijah Simmons and after D. Beckwith and after Joe Milton, you want DeJohn Terry coming off the bus. He's one of the first couple of guys you want coming off the bus. That dude is huge and looks great in a T-shirt, looks great in pads. He looks awesome. But it's also great to hear that is translating to making plays on the football field as well. So the defensive line sounds like it's really improved, which it's to be expected with Rodney Garner's group. But it's nice to hear it. Really nice to hear it. So overreacting in a positive manner, I wasn't expecting to hear that about the defense, that there weren't a ton of tackles, that the physicality was where it needed to be. I was happy to hear that.
2,000 Ravens. 2,000 Ravens. We run that part. 2,000 Ravens. Defense. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go to the phones. 865-255-03. Who we got there?
Daytona.
Daytona, good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. You seem to be doing pretty good being a little instigator already this morning.
How so?
How's that?
Huh? How so?
I don't know. You're the one that was, trying to get me and Ben the trash talk about if the Bears beat the Steelers.
I was just making I wasn't being an instigator. I was just making an example.
Huh?
I was using that as an example for not instigating about Ben's team losing to the White Sox. I was using an example that if the Bears beat the Steelers, I would come in and I would rub it in. I'm not instigating anything. I'm just using that example. Stop trying to start stuff, Daytona.
I don't know. I think you are not the person to try to give an example of not instigating.
Listen, man, I wasn't instigating.
You know, Daytona, you're a big instigator too.
Like, if I was doing it, you would know, and I would
Benjamin?
admit it. But I wasn't doing it then.
Ben.
Daytona.
There's already a fire lit. You don't need to put more wood on.
you all three of us are instigators, if we're being honest.
Okay, that's fair.
I just what should I dress up as when the Steelers do beat the Bears? Should I dress up as a Yinzer?
Yep.
bring a lunch pail.
So hey, is the Jamboree tonight?
Yes.
Y'all going to watch Walter Nolen?
It depends on where I get with my flooring today. If I make good progress, then I'll make my way over and check them out.
All right, guys. I just wanted to ask about the Walter Nolen. Hey, did they say anything about Beckwith?
No. He's just we had a question about him on the text box as well. Right now, he's just another body in the room.
Man, we need to get that big old fast dude on the field somehow.
He has to get himself on the football field.
He's got to show that he can make plays before the coaches trust him to put him on the field in different situations.
He has to do that, and tweeting about it ain't gonna do it.
He tweet about it. Oh my God!
Did he tweet about it?
I mean, it was a subtweet, but it wasn't bad. But I'm just saying, like it's wasted energy for any player during fall camp. Every ounce of energy that you're going to use should be put into getting better on the football field to put yourself in a position to play. Any energy not used for that is wasted, in my opinion. So he's a guy that is athletic. He's big, and it has to be something of why he's not being mentioned, that he's not been on the field more. He's entering his sophomore year. He just needs to go out there and do it. Maybe he's at the wrong position. I don't know that. But, like, there's only one thing you can do, and that's go out there and prove it. There's nothing else. There's not talking about it. There's not, it's just you just got to go out there and earn it. You got to go make plays. That's the way fall camp is, and it doesn't matter what coaching staff it is. That is the way you earn your job. It's about proving it in practice.
Well, guys, I'm going to jump off here. I've got to go to a retina specialist, and I can't seem to find it.
You say a rectum's?
Retina.
I thought I heard rectum. Rectum.
Like the classic dad joke there.
What's wrong with your booty? Daytona? You okay? All right, who's next?
Wes.
Wes, good morning.
How in the world do you follow that?
I don't know what's wrong with Daytona's butt.
Oh, man. I just got two quick things, guys. It's good to hear y'all this morning. I've been chitter-chattering back and forth with some other fans, and I hear a lot of butt hurt and complaining about having AK on the scoreboard.
Oh, my gosh.
And I've been trying to explain to people that I know that are being very blockheaded about it. I told them, you got to understand, kids that we are recruiting, younger guys, they watch Sunday NFL games. And who is killing it on Sunday games? AK. So they got to see that. That's a recruiting tool. I've been trying to tell them for weeks, or not for weeks, but for days now, ever since. And I have gotten so much backlash on that. But I just don't understand why that's so hard to understand.
Some people are just dense in the head, man. They just really dense, and that's just the case. I mean, it makes no sense to me.
I think you got one sitting right next to you too.
He gets it though. He understands it. He might be dense on some things, but not on this. I mean, this is why we can't have nice things, man. This is why we can't have nice things, because you see that noise. It is the dumbest stance to take right now, to be complaining about Jason Witten, who's not even in the league anymore, who's not on Monday Night Football anymore, and you have a guy in Alvin Kamara that is one of the faces of the NFL. Like, the NFL a couple of years ago did a commercial and only featured about 5 or 6 guys in the entire league, and Alvin Kamara was one of those guys. Like, he's the best former Tennessee player in the league.
You ask a 15, 16, 17-year-old and point at Jason Witten, and they're like, who?
Yep.
Who's that guy?
Exactly.
They probably
know
him
who that is.
more for Monday Night Football, too. They probably know Jason Witten more for Monday Night Football.
They probably won't recognize him because he's bald-headed now.
That too.
In Monday Night Football, he had a hair like Jimmy Johnson.
Now he looks like me.
Exactly.
But, I mean, I love me some Jason Witten, man. But people gotta just put their feelings to the side and think. Use what the man above gave us. He gave us a brain to think. Let's use it.
I'm just not going to touch on that. One last thing, and I'm going to hop off here. And you all may end up discussing this, I don't know. But something that I cannot get past, and Ben probably knows what I'm talking about. And I am not one of these people. I am under the umbrella of fans that I want to win. I'm passionate. I don't care who the guy is throwing the pill around. As long as he does it well, doesn't throw it to the other team, and makes good decisions and win games. I don't care who you are, what your name is, or what the number on your jersey is. I don't really care. And it pains me that there are so many of our fans that are hitching their wagon to every little scrap of information about Harrison Bailey. And I love the kid. I was psyched about him when we landed him, and he stayed with us, and all of that. I understand the kid probably did him a disservice getting that 5th star, because that probably, I'm trying to think of the right word for it, but it just kind of diluted some of our fans. They say, oh yeah, 5-star quarterback. Okay, here we go. No, that probably put a lot of undue pressure on the guy who hasn't had a lot of really good chances to, I guess, learn what he needs to learn. He had a rough year last year, and in the situations that we've been in, it's just not been conducive to him gaining experience and knowledge. And he's a little bit behind the 8 ball as it is anyways, because he's got 2 veteran guys in front of him right now, it sounds like. But I can't, I want to understand, I really do, how we get our wagons hitched to something like that so tightly and won't let go. But appreciate it, guys. I'll hang out and listen to your comments.
Hey, thank you.
It's so annoying. It is so annoying, this quarterback competition discussion. I mean, it's become
that part of it is.
Yes, I love the actual quarterback competition because I love football. I like the thought of different quarterbacks. I mean, quarterback competitions can be fun. It's not necessarily fun for Tennessee right now because of where the spot has been the last couple of years, but the conversation amongst media members and fans about the quarterback competition has become like the conversation about whether to wear the mask or not. It's become politicized. How? Like, we all want Tennessee to win. Who cares if it's number 15, number 5, or number 7? I wouldn't care if it were Brian Maurer that was the best option to lead Tennessee. Obviously, it's not, but I don't care who the quarterback is. But some people get their hopes up on one person and just refuse to listen to anything else. And it's amazing to me. It's become as bad of a conversation and as bad of a talking point as to whether to not wear a mask. That's how bad it's become.
There's not enough evidence for the public to know which quarterback should be the starting quarterback. Like, only one of the quarterbacks who was truly in the race played a game last year wearing a Tennessee uniform. And what I saw from that quarterback wearing a Tennessee uniform wasn't enough for me to suggest that he's the best quarterback and the best quarterback for this team. He did some good things, but he also did some things that was pretty pedestrian. Simple as that. I'm with you. I don't care who the quarterback is. I don't have a personal relationship with any quarterback on this squad. I just want them to win. And I don't care who's coolest, who is more likable than the other. As long as you're a good teammate and you're the best option, that's all I care about. But, and I hate to be mean here because I feel like I was kind of mean, questioning people's ability to use their brains when talk about Alvin Kamara being on Jumbotron. But, man, sometimes you just got to say what has to be said. using high school rankings to determine whether or not a kid should be number one at a SEC program is about the dumbest thing ever, too. It don't matter what you do in high school. You're ranked on your competition in high school. Bryce Brown was the number one player in the country. He played high school in the state of Kansas that don't even do spring football. You put Bryce Brown in Georgia, I'm sure he's still a good player, but is he the number one player in the country? No. Harrison had a great high school career, did a good job at camps. The one recruiting site that ranked him, he went to their camps. We have seen that site do the opposite to Trey Smith. The opposite. So you got to take that stuff with a grain of salt. It don't matter what you did in high school. It don't matter. Has nothing to do with anything. So when we're talking about Harrison Bailey, there's no even point mentioning what he was ranked in high school. There's no point. Because it doesn't matter. It's about what you do now. But the caller was spot on. Caller was spot on. Just bring me the best guy for the job. I don't care. I don't care if he just got here yesterday. I don't care if he was here the whole time. I don't care if he was this star. I don't care when he was committed. I don't care. You play the best person for the job. And that's it. It's really that simple in this game of football. That's it. It's real simple. Are you better than him? Are you better than him that's good for the team? Okay, well, you play over him. Simple as that. When you start getting into other stuff, that's when you have issues. It's really as simple as that. Are you better than him, and are you better for the team when you play versus this guy? It's that simple. All right, let's go back to the phones.
We got Foxball.
Foxball on a Friday. Friday Foxball. It's Foxball
Hey,
Friday.
what's going on, man?
What's up, man?
No, not too much. Had a couple of questions real quick. One is, I've heard you talk about it, and I've heard, Fred White back when he was on the show, he talked about it a little bit, but kind of having a culture in place and what it means to establish that. And, like for you guys, you all came into a program that already had the culture established.
Mm-hmm.
So what does, a program like Tennessee do whenever they're trying to establish a culture? Because, it's easy not easy, but it's normal, from my understanding, for an upperclassman to come up to somebody and say, hey, you beat me on this. If you let me beat you on the sprint, I'm going to punch you in the mouth. Or, you look at movies like Remember the Titans, when Gary Bertier had to actually confront his best friend who was on the offense and say, look, if you don't block for him, I'm going to hit you so hard, you're going to need a new haircut. Stuff like that. And I know it's in movies and stuff, but you hear people talk about it who played on a high level where you need people who care about it that much, who genuinely it means something to them, and so I guess my question is, if you come into a broken program as a head coach that has been dysfunctional for a decade, what do you do? Like, I know recruiting and everything, but if you come in as a freshman and you are, you're a leader in your high school, but now you're the lowest guy on the totem pole, and the upperclassmen are behaving a certain way, how do you stop that permeating cycle? What do you do?
You coach them, and you harp on the details. You can't let details go without being addressed. And if you have to stop practice, and I remember when Butch Jones was a coach, and listen, I'm not someone that craps on everything Butch Jones did here. I don't do that. There's a lot of good things that he did here. I do remember when he got here, guys didn't even know how to celebrate because they were so beat down by the previous staff. They didn't know how to have fun. And that's kind of where we are right now. Like, Butch had to literally stop practice after someone scored a touchdown and say, hey, I want y'all to celebrate with each other. Celebrate with each other right now. Come on, celebrate. Like, he had to do that. And so you coach him. Like, you coach him on every single thing. Hey, man, hey, walking in the complex, not even in practice. You walk past some trash. Why you ain't pick that up? Well, that's not mine. It don't matter. This is still your house. You pick it up because you have pride in your house. And that's why I tell my kids, like, I don't care if you didn't do it. It's about having pride in where you live, in your house. And that's small. But that stuff translates on the football field. Coach Cut made us run and do bear crawls and seat rolls. And, man, I was dizzy for a week because we had the locker room looking like we didn't take pride in our home. And we had just went 5-6, so we had to shift our focus. And that's an example of coaching the little things that many may think don't have anything to do with football, but have everything to do with football. So that's what it's going to come down to, Foxball. It's Heupel coaching in every single possible scenario, on the field and off the field. That's where you get a culture change. And then you get guys start doing it to each other. Now someone's like, hey, man, you just dropped that paper. Why you ain't pick it up? Instead of just saying, oh, man, he dropped it. It ain't mine. The janitor, that's what they get paid for. No, man. This is our house. You take pride in your house. The janitor shouldn't have to, pick up your stuff. So little stuff like that is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, stuff like that's what we used to call shared governance where I worked, man.
Mm-hmm.
And the other point I wanted to bring out was I wanted to call in yesterday to chime in on it. I have no idea if you guys have been talking about it or not today, but, a lot of people have been bringing in comments about mental health and things like that. And I guess I kind of felt burdened because, where I've been, my story.
Mm-hmm.
And, man, I guess I'm forever indebted to you for what you did for me. And I'm not trying to get anybody in their feelings this morning or anything, but if anyone's listening, and you're struggling with things, and I've been there, man. You feel like you can't talk to anybody. No one will understand. Everyone will judge you. I promise you, there's someone who cares. And if you need to talk to somebody, shoot, track me down, man. I'll talk to you. I don't care. I don't care what I'm doing. I'll stop it. I don't care. But a couple of pieces of advice on that end I would give to people is, number one, don't try to do it yourself. Don't. You can't. You're just going to – it's like quicksand. You're just going to keep drowning, sinking deeper and deeper. For me, I look at people like Brian Maurer and things like that, and what a lot of people who haven't been through it, I think maybe they don't understand is when you go through, depression or different things regarding mental health, it has a tendency to turn you into somebody that you never thought you would be. And typically, it's not a quick process. Like for me, it was like I was on a boat and I was on the ocean and I fell asleep, and then all of a sudden, when I finally did wake up, I was so far away from shore, I didn't even see land. I didn't recognize anything anymore. I was like, holy cow, what did I become? And so that's the first thing. The second thing is, and truly, a lot of people preach about it. A lot of people talk about it. And Swain, I'm not trying to get you canceled. So I'm sorry, man, but I'm not sorry. there is a God who loves you. There is, and you know, I had to come to the end of myself. I hope that, you know, if anyone's listening, you don't have to come to that point. But for me, I had to come to the end of myself before I realized there is a Savior, and that Jesus does love you, and He does care about you. And it doesn't matter what you've done, doesn't matter where you've been. He's there, man. So that's all I got, guys. Y'all have a great weekend.
Man, powerful right there. Won't be getting me canceled. That's value right there, and I hope that Foxball has spoken some breath in some people that feel like they're short of breath and don't have the energy to ask for help or to lock arms with someone else. Hopefully Foxball have put that breath of energy inside of you by his words, and you're not burdening anyone else if you ask for help. You're not inconveniencing anyone else when you ask for help, when you want to talk. They want to help. They want to talk because you never know. They may be going through the same thing, and talking to you may help them. So thank you for the phone call, Foxball, man. You're always on time, never late. Even when you're not on time, you're always on time, my friend. So thank you so much for that phone call. 865-255-03. Swain Event is fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Be right back.
For what is coming up on the Swain Event.
Hey there, Swain Event listeners. I'm excited to share my new Keller Williams Realty app so you can tour homes without leaving yours. Not only can you search for homes in specific areas and neighborhoods, you can also have access to real-time market snapshots on stats like average home price and days on market, plus commute times from your office, school zones, and much more. Download my app today and get the most accurate information on buying, selling, and investing in real estate in your area. Just search for the Keller Williams Realty app and click on More in the lower right-hand corner. Type in Jennifer Morris in the Your Agent search bar, then save and you're set. And as always, feel free to reach out at 865-257-7897 or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com.
We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss PRP, platelet-rich plasma. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
Good to be back, Jason. We specialize in non-surgical orthopedics, so we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints, including rotator cuff injuries, knee injuries, and elbow and foot problems by using ultrasound-guided injections with PRP. And this form of treatment helps stimulate the body's own reparative process and assist in the healing of damaged tissue.
Doc, what makes your training different than others?
I've been practicing in Knoxville for over 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. They've been the leader in this form of treatment since 1983. I also teach this form of treatment on a national and international basis to other physicians, residents, and medical students. Here in our clinic, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own PRP, which are concentrated platelets, to treat your injury. So in other words, Jason, it comes from you and it goes back to you, so you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Do what the pros, college athletes, and I have done, and visit them online at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in PRP therapy. If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the Big Orange action is.
Go to HamptonInn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill or call 865-693-5400.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at GarzaLaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
There are articles and news stories that you read about the things that people do. And when you're reading those and you start to shake your head, you start to scratch your head a little bit. You get confused. You don't understand why. You start to ask questions. But really, there's only one question that matters. What is that question, you may ask?
For what? All right, it's time for what? Quickly, because we got to get to our guy Buck Nasty, who is waiting patiently on the Irish Networks hotline. Kingston, New Hampshire. A man has pleaded guilty to a disorderly conduct charge stemming from explosive gender reveal party that was heard by nearby residents in New Hampshire and Massachusetts. Part of a plea deal was reached on Tuesday, where a gentleman was convicted and fined $620, of which $500 will be suspended for 12 months as long as he stays out of trouble. So basically $120. This gender reveal party, they were at a quarry, and they thought it would be the safest place to detonate the explosive. It was 80 pounds of tannerite, and when it went off, homes of nearby residents were shaken. There was no injuries that was reported, but homes nearby was shaken like it was a freaking earthquake or something, or a volcano or something. All this for a gender reveal. Listen, man, just get the ultrasound and have a cake. Fill up some balloons with some blue or pink paint and get a baseball bat and hit it. Just do it like that. 80 pounds of explosive you detonate just for a gender reveal. So that's my for what. Let's get to Buck Nasty. Buck Nasty, good morning.
Man, tannerite's so much fun.
What?
Yeah, it makes for a heck of a boom.
Huh?
It is. It's big time. It's like redneck dynamite.
Where do you get this stuff from?
I can't tell you everything. I mean, the alphabet people may be listening on the phone. You picking up what I'm putting down?
I got you. They know your real name.
I know it, but they can trace the phone calls. I don't need them all over me.
That's right. I don't need them calling me trying to, know what? Never mind.
Boys, I have got 32 questions this morning.
Okay. Let's start with number one.
The first question I got is, did BYU just show us how to get our football program back?
Yes. On Saturday, if I get two Mormons coming to the door knocking, I'm going to answer it and tell them thank you. Thank you.
I'm telling you. I mean, if we can just waive the scholarship deal and say, oh, we'll just pay you to come play, your scholarship's going to be paid for in full up front. It's just like their own scholarship.
Hey, man. You hate such a wholesome, pure story that's really cool for those walk-ons to turn into us over here strategizing about how to get our football program back. But listen, it is what it is, man. We tired of losing, all right?
That's right. I mean, I'm tickled to death for those guys that either got the scholarship and got to go to school for free, which should be the goal for all the athletes on top of being able to make a little extra money as well. But it sure does help our problem with the transfer portal here this year and the last couple, coming up in the next few years. When Butch come in and he tried to get away from everything, I'm like you, not everything Butch did was bad. But when he come in, he was signing these huge classes of 35 kids to help rebuild the program, and that's what you're going to have to do here in this case, too. We're just going to have to come off that pocketbook a little bit better.
Hey, man, we're going to see more first-team All-American walk-ons ever moving forward.
All right, now you alluded to it with Foxball just a little bit, but yesterday in the presser with old Heupel, he seemed to exude confidence in this football team. Now, I've got 4 different scenarios on why he done that.
Okay.
Number one, is it because the team was beat down so bad that them boys was never told, hey, you done a good job, and now he has to try to build them up?
That's one.
Number
I agree.
Number two, is it because he hasn't never seen SEC caliber players before, and he actually thinks his football team's that well?
He coached at Missouri as offense coordinator.
Yeah, the Missouri count.
Missouri played against other teams.
That Drew Lock offense does count.
They smacked our butts.
That Drew Lock offense was legit, no doubt.
Yeah. So he's played it. He's coached against the Georgias and the Floridas in the SEC, so he should be aware of SEC defenses for sure.
Okay, number 3, is it because the ticket sales are down so bad he's trying to sell more tickets because administration?
He don't care about that.
I don't know if that's something that he's thinking about, but I think it's important to know that ticket prices are down, and it would be awesome to be able to sell some optimism to have people want to come see the product at least at the beginning. But I don't think Heupel has that on his notes.
Okay. Well, that's pretty much all I could think of on why he would be so confident in the way, because he just seemed like he was just calm, and he's excited about what he's going to put on the field, in the next few weeks. During his presser, the way he talked about the kids seemed like the other staff didn't do a good job of ever giving out compliments, which, a lot of people boasted, hey, he wasn't happy, and that's what you're supposed to do, and this, that, and other. And he seems to be taking the exact opposite approach with it, trying to build them up when they do good,
I think that's exactly what it is, Buck Nasty. I think it is option 1 that you mentioned, because I was told that the scrimmage didn't go nearly as well as maybe Heupel made it seem. So I think that points to your option A of why he could potentially be over the top positive in regards to the scrimmage, is because they have been beaten down so long. And what good does it do to come out and just act like a butthole like Pruitt would after practice, after a scrimmage? It does nobody any good. So I think option A is perfect reason why.
I think this is why I always take a very cautious approach when it comes to analyzing first scrimmages, because there's always a loser when you have an inter-squad scrimmage. Like, somebody got to lose, and it's going to be your own team. And so, on one hand, you can say, golly, offense can't break tackles in space. Ugh. What's going on? But then on the other hand, you're like, whoa, defense, great job making tackles, because we can tie missed tackles to fatigue and mental fatigue and mental weakness, not being able to push through when you're a little bit tired. So instead of taking the extra step, you start diving at legs, instead of following through. Tennessee defense did a good job of that yesterday. So we can look at the positives there, but then we can also look at the negatives in the same breath and go, man, come on, offensive players. We are in this spread offense to put you in space. You got to make dudes miss. The problem that you can have to point out is too many mental errors. And if that was the case, which you pointed out a little bit there with some of the penalties, then that has to be cleaned up quick, fast, in a hurry. Hour 3 coming up.
Hour 3 of the Swain event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam, where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare. Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work-from-anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses.
Hour 3 of the Swain event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Hour 3 here in the Swain event, fueled by Daddy and Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. Ben McKee, Jason Swain, Low T Center Studios, where we are. Jay is on the Iris Networks hotline. Jay, good morning.
Well, Swain, I think it's time for Tennessee to redo their new weight room, man.
They just got a new one.
I know, man, but these new ones that are coming out, really, I'm just pointing to the college football arms race. But I've seen some of these new weight rooms. One that Georgia and their new football facility, and then one that Florida State just got. And I'm thinking, this college football arms race is just—it's like technology.
Mm-hmm.
You get something in 3 or 4 years, it's just outdated.
Yep. Kind of like my laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had to get a brand new computer a couple days ago, and since I've gotten that, man, everything has been freaking awesome. With production of the the show on my end over here. Ben has his thing over there, and I have my thing that we both produce as we're doing the show. But like I had to get a new computer, man. My laptop was only like 4 years old, and I had to get a new one. So yeah, you gotta keep up with the technology upgrades. But man, Tennessee just got a whole new equipment when Pruitt was named coach, and you got Craig Fitzgerald.
No, yeah, Tennessee's is nice. I just go look at Georgia's and that new facility they just built. If Georgia, because Georgia was really struggling in recruiting, so this new football facility, indoor facility, and this new Taj Mahal of a weight room they have, I think will really, hopefully, help them out to compete in this league.
It ain't gonna matter if Kirby Smart can seal the deal with in-game coaching. $80 million renovation. They finished the first phase of it during spring, summer. The new weight room increases the number of lifting platforms from 16 to 32, double its size and square footage from 11,000 to 21,900. Let me see these pictures.
That's insane.
I mean, it's nice. It's nice. I mean, ours nice too, but there's nice.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah. No, Tennessee's is very nice. Right, really now, Swain, everybody has nice facilities.
It looks like ours right now, honestly.
Yeah, it's the same company. It's
Yeah.
the same company.
Yeah, I mean,
just different color.
Oh, it's nice now. Don't get me wrong, but ours is nice too.
Swain, how do we keep recruiting at the level that we recruit at? And I understand it's not Alabama or Georgia, but it's also not chop suey. I mean, we recruit on Pruitt recruited, and granted, we had some of our best players leave, but still, yet I think if those guys would have stayed, they still wouldn't be talking about this team being super talented. I mean, maybe we'd be talking if Eric Gray and Toa Olu and that safety Lawrence.
Key
maybe
Lawrence
we're talking about
and
7 wins.
Kavars
instead of
Crouch.
6.
Yeah.
I mean, so what I'm saying is how do we recruit so well and never? And this is not just a Pruitt thing; it was a Butch thing. How do we recruit at the level we recruit at, and we're always not that talented, and we're always slow? It seems like every time we need more team speed, but yet we're getting all our 4-stars just overrated. Does Tennessee just get all the overrated 4-stars?
No, it's here's why it seems like that. It's the C word. The C word is the reason why, and that's culture.
Yeah.
Every coach since Coach Fulmer, and Coach Fulmer, the reason why he was under fire is because, the culture wasn't where it needed to be either. So it started to decline a little bit because the culture came in question for him too. But Lane Kiffin did a good job recruiting, but the culture was so bad with accountability and guys being able to do what they want and get in trouble. So discipline wasn't there. And so when he left, you had a bunch of guys leave. You had some guys get kicked off. Dooley as a coach, and then he did a pretty good job recruiting. He was in the teens and brought in some NFL guys. The offensive line that he assembled went on to be one of the best offensive linemen groups that we've seen here at Tennessee in a very long time. And most of those guys on that starting 5 play in the league a very long time. And the only reason why you didn't have more is because Tiny Richardson had injury issues with his knees. But what happened with Dooley? He had all that talent, but culture was an issue. Butch Jones started off good, but what happened? Culture fell apart. Pruitt recruited well. What happened? Culture fell apart. So what happens is you get guys who are talented, but then they don't live up to their potential because, man, they're not inspired. They're not inspired to be their best. They don't have confidence in the leader that's in front of them to play for him and believe in him. And the leadership is not where it needs to be to bring out the best. I had that. Like, I had guys that were older than me that were great leaders, and I would listen to, and they steer me right. And I was a talented 4-star coming in too. The difference is these guys are coming in, and they have to be senior level leaders the day they step on campus, and that's hard to do. So all of those years have one thing in common, and that's culture. And that's why it seems like the 4-stars that we recruit don't pan out, not because they're not good physically, but because, man, they're not put in the best environment to be successful. That's the difference between, Clemson and other successful programs is, we get talent, but we don't develop them. And it's not all about the physical development in the weight room and teaching them how to play on the field. It's the emotional, the mental development as well too. It's hard to do that when every couple of years you have a new coach. We have a guy that, from an emotional standpoint, can't handle power, can't handle adversity, and they take it out on their players. They are inconsistent. The players see that, and then they don't trust their head coach. That's what it has a lot to do with, in my opinion.
Well, I hope that changes because it just seems like this spans multiple coaches now. And, it's just it makes no sense when you look at the recruiting rankings and the teams that are winning and getting in the playoffs are the teams that finish in the top 5 in the recruiting rankings, top 6. So there must be some validity to those rankings because the teams that finish at the top are the best teams in the country. So if you judge by where we finish, like Georgia shouldn't be just kicking our teeth in every year. Alabama and all these teams, I'm not saying we should be beating them on a regular basis, but we shouldn't be losing by 30 and 40 points every single year. It seems like, and that seems like what's happening here. And then you see like Cincinnati, and they, like you say, they may have a great culture. They play Georgia, and they give Georgia everything they want in the Sugar Bowl. And I know that team, on paper at least, is not more talented than us. I mean, if you just go by the rankings, there's no way they are.
Now, I do think Tennessee has gotten some overrated 4 and 5 stars.
But that's part of it, though. That happens everywhere.
Does it? Because
it happens when I play. We got guys that came in as 5 stars and they were overrated and didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I think that's what the downfall of Fulmer was, honestly. He got a bunch of guys that ended up being overrated.
What I am referencing is Butch and Pruitt going, more so Butch as well, and 1 or 2 under Pruitt, going and getting these guys that are ranked inside the top 100. They got offers from this school, that school, 4-star, high-level 4-star, 5-star. But when it came down to when it was time to commit, Alabama didn't want them. Auburn didn't want them. LSU didn't want them. Georgia didn't want them. Florida didn't want them. Ohio State, Clemson, so on and so forth, didn't want them. Like, to me, if you are a high-level 4-star, if you're a top 100 player and it comes time to commit and those schools don't want you, then you are an overrated 4 or 5-star, because, to be quite blunt, I trust the opinions of those coaching staffs more than I trust the recruiting services. So to me, Tennessee has gotten a bunch of those players under Butch, a couple under Pruitt. And so to me, like, in addition to what Swain is saying, like, yes, I do think that Tennessee has gotten the overrated 4 and 5-star guys. And then the good 4 and 5-star guys that Tennessee has gotten, the culture has been awful to where they could not develop. And then you couldn't develop them because of the culture. And
now,
you're wasting them at that
I'm not
point.
saying that what you're saying isn't part of it. I'm saying the biggest reason is because of the culture. You're going to have 4 and 5-star busts at every program. But when you have a positive culture, when you have other guys that are developing, then it doesn't stand out that much because, you get the production. So it doesn't really matter if you're winning and this 5-star didn't produce, he transfers and no one pays attention. But when you're losing and there's all this drama and then you have a coaching change, this 5-star that was recruited, it's easier to now talk about that player because you're losing and he was supposed to be the guy that was going to help, but he wasn't. For me, it's the culture that holds more weight here, except for, the recruiting rankings being wrong or that player not living up to expectations. Because I think we're not sitting here with, a 5th coach since Coach Fulmer or 4th coach since Coach Fulmer. If you had a coach or coaches that had a more positive, stable environment and a positive culture, we would not be at this point. But you got some guys that were just underqualified for the Tennessee job, and the pressure got to them.
Let me ask you all this: or Swain, do you think that's a common theme in most programs that don't succeed, like Nebraska? Are they not getting there because they don't have the right culture, or is it because that maybe they have limitations in their program as far as what they can do? But is that just a Tennessee thing? Have we just been hiring guys who have fostered just terrible cultures, one after the other, and other programs maybe don't deal with that? They just lose because they're losing?
I can speak for Tennessee. Yes.
Yeah.
Nebraska is a different animal. I think it's hard to recruit to Nebraska now. I mean, it's just who wants to live in Nebraska? I'm sorry.
Nobody.
I think Nebraska is different, but why was Jim McElwain and Will Muschamp not successful when the talent there in Florida is the same every single year? The resources are the same every single year. Why did you have Urban Meyer be successful and then you had a dip? Oh, let me take it back even further. Ron Zook recruited his butt off and set things up for Urban Meyer. So why was Ron Zook a 4-loss, 5-loss football coach with all that talent, and then Urban Meyer comes in, wins at a high level, and then he leaves, and then you have Jim McElwain, and then you have Will Muschamp, who brought in the same talent, had the same type of recruiting access, same resources from a program standpoint, but we saw issues with Will Muschamp getting into it with Charlie Weiss. That's culture issues. You have Jim McElwain, where guys wasn't, going to the weight room, and they had weight room issues with accountability there. That's a culture thing. And now you bring in Dan Mullen, and now you have a little bit more success. It all points to culture, not necessarily the talent and guys being a bust. It's the culture that's set by the head coach. And a program like Florida, program like LSU, when you have talent, when you have a brand, if the culture is good, you're usually going to be a good football team, winning 8 games, 9 games. And when Butch did that, the culture was not a dumpster fire like it was in 17. That 15 team, the culture wasn't trash at that point. Now,
They played hard.
They were coming up short because it started to unravel a little bit, but that 15 team gave Alabama all it wants and was leading in the fourth quarter. And Alabama that year went 14-1. And so things went going wrong for Butch when the culture started changing. That's when it started going wrong. So for me, I point everything back to culture, Jay.
Well, guys, I'll ask y'all a question. I'll hang up and listen. Is Josh Heupel, think about this now, is Josh Heupel the best, does he have the best resume of any football coach we've hired since Johnny Majors?
Yeah, 100%.
28-8. He's been a head coach, top 5 national offense every year. He may have the best resume we've hired since Johnny Majors.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You think so?
Yeah, I know so. I mean, that's something we mentioned the first day he was hired. We mentioned that the first day he was hired. People were commenting and, it's lackluster, ain't splashy. And I understood that, but when we started to kind of take a step back and put our feelings to the side and just look at pure facts, looked at his track record, you were like, yo, he is probably the most proven head coach that we have hired since Johnny Majors. Now, we know Coach Fulmer's success, but he was a coordinator. So, yeah, I would say that. All right, let's go back to the phones.
We got Triple O.
Triple O, good morning.
Good morning, homie.
What's going on, Triple O?
Man, it's Friday. I'm out work. I'm chilling. And I'm ready for some football.
What kind of football?
Man, winning football.
Me too, man. Me too.
I mean,
college or pro?
Both, man.
Both.
This is my perspective as being a fan of both UT and a NFL team that we will not mention.
The Lions.
I get yes. I get to have newness, right? I get the chance to get rid of the old, dusty, pathetic, underachieving coaching. The culture, as you said, the cultures that absolutely sucked for the last couple of years. I actually get a chance to say, hey, this is new. This is refreshing. I have a new level of enthusiasm. I see practices. I see players actually excited for a change on both my teams. And that's just a warming, welcoming feeling to know that, hey, players are actually excited to go out there to practice. They're actually excited to go out and compete. I think that has to do with culture as well. It's the individuals that we was recruiting, right? Or you draft into your organization. It looks like for the first time in a while, we actually got kids who actually love football instead of just worrying about, everything on social media.
That's still going on too now.
Huh?
I said that's still going on too.
I know it's still going on, but what I'm saying is this ain't like, and then this is what I had to tell myself. When I grew up watching football, that time will never be again because of social media, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was no Twitter. There was no Facebook. There was no Instagram, right? There was none of this, fake success you see, right? You see all these people with nice cars and nice houses, but you don't see the effort that it took for them to get what they have, right? That's the problem with social media, right? Everybody wants all this attention and you want all this stuff, but you ain't putting the grind in to get it, right? For example, I wanted a house, right? I had to fix my house, right? You can get the house, but guess what? It takes more work to keep up a house than it does to get the house, right? If you're going to get to a standard, it's harder to maintain that standard than it is to get to that standard in the first place.
That's true.
So that was the problem with the previous staffs. You know, that's why you plateau at, 8 and 5 instead of going up to the next level, which is 9, 10, 11 wins that you were supposed to do, was because you got comfortable. Okay, I can just do a little bit of work here, and they love me for this 8 and 5. No, that ain't the standard. Everybody wants a championship, but not everybody putting in a championship level standard of work.
Yeah. The same work you put in to get to a certain place is the same amount of work, if not more, to stay at that place.
You can't be upset with the results that you did not get with the work that you did not put in.
Yeah. Well,
exactly.
It's pretty simple.
You can exactly. I mean, you can. You're gonna fail 100% of the time if you don't put yourself out there. If you don't put in the work, that's any job, right? That's any line of work, right? The reason why I appreciate y'all because I know how hard you work. I know your hustle. I know your grind, right? No matter what happens day in and day out, the grind doesn't stop, right? Somebody's out grinding. So if somebody got more success than you, they're probably grinding harder than you, right?
More often than not.
Because those things, character. I think another C word that we need to talk about is character, not just culture. It's character. We've had a lack of character since Coach Fulmer. We've been out in the desert, and I ain't talking about just coaching. I'm talking about the untrust among all the big boosters. Those who really cut the checks, those who really make the decisions. Right? It all comes down to culture up there too, because a winning organization starts from the top down.
Mm-hmm.
If the up top is broken, downstairs is going to be broken. The players are going to be broken. It all lines up together, right?
It does.
The winning teams, or they're all on the same page from the CEO to the person sweeping the floor.
Yep.
They're all on the same page.
Yep.
That's what makes a difference between winners and losers. And we ain't been winners for a long time. And until we finally get our heads around that and realize that, and that's what I realized about my lives. I ain't had that since Barry Sanders played. Look how long that's been.
I think Barry Sanders is a granddaddy now.
I know. Barry Sanders sitting there playing golf with Emmett. They sitting there cutting up on the old days. That's just being real.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm saying I'm hoping that we finally get a culture and some character that will build here, and not just build but can maintain. And that's what we all hoping for. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'll tell you this much. I'm excited to see offense. I guarantee you this much. We'll see more than 10 to 13 points a game.
Yep.
That makes me happy.
We hope that's the case for sure. I mean, you averaged 20 points per game last year. It felt like it was 10 points per game. It was at 20 last year, and that needs to be 10 points better at minimum. Probably 15 points better averaging to have a chance to be above 500. But yeah, man, I think you nailed it. You always hear the saying, the apple don't fall far from the tree. And when, you see young people enter college or into a football program or enter life and they have some struggles, normally you can kind of trace it back to their childhood and how they were raised and how they were brought up. And, other cases, you have preacher kids like D.R. Vol that just totally go opposite. That happens. And then
Brad
you have
Matthews too.
Yeah, Brad Matthews too. And then you have the opposite where like the home life was absolutely atrocious and the parents were not there or bad examples, and that gave that child every reason to be the opposite. So that happens, but more times than not, you are a product of your environment. You are how you are, have you been raised, and so that's no different than right here when we're talking about Tennessee football. You are a product of your environment. If things are not streamlined and culture's not positive from the top down, how do you expect the players to be their best selves when the program is not their best selves. It's a cop-out, in my opinion, with fans blame the players all the time for being bust and things like that. And, you know, if the players see the crap that's going on, how they're supposed to go into work every day knowing that they're the best possible place and that the leaders have their best interests at heart. I mean, you wouldn't work at a job where, you know, the company don't care about you and, you know, you wouldn't work your butt off and give your all. You would look for another job. And the same thing applies here. So there's responsibility from the top down. From what I've heard, just talking to my people in those places that donate money, is that there has been an effort to bring people together at the top. That is going on as we speak. So pay close attention to that.
That's what I'm looking for, man. I mean, that's when somebody asked me, said, you know, we was having a conversation like, when are we going to win again? I said, when it all lines up. I mean, it ain't lined up, you know, in over a decade. And until it all lines up, we ain't going to win. In other words, you might have these little peaks and valleys, and the peaks being 8 and the valleys being 3 to 4 wins. This is what happens when you become mediocre, and this has become the standard. So the standard has to be raised again. But the thing that I don't want to see is for the standard to get raised again, for us to fall back into this. I don't want to be competing with Missouri and Kentucky and Arkansas, you know, and South Carolina. I want to be competing with the big dogs, but we're not there right now. Can we get back there? Yes. But we're going to have to earn our way back to that slot, right? Ain't nothing ever going to be given back to us. Oh, you're Tennessee. No, name doesn't mean much anymore. This ain't the old days. You got to earn, like the old commercial. You got to earn it. We got to earn it again. And when we earn it again, I hope we can keep it. But, man, I just want to tell you both, I love you and I appreciate y'all, and I hope y'all have a great weekend.
Man, love you too, man. Thank you for the phone call. 865-255-03. Rodney says another C word is confidence. Oh, absolutely. I think you get the confidence when you see that the culture is positive and the people that are coaching you and telling you what to do, you know that they have your best interests at heart. I think the confidence kind of takes care of itself. But, yes, 100%. We'll get to the text box. We'll get to your comments when we return from our bottom of the hour break here in hour number 3. Be right back.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
It's a new season, which means it's time to rep your team in new ways with gear from Game Time Sidekicks. Rep the Vols with every sip with a new tie-dye tumbler or bottle. They also have a new NFL Players Association product line, so you can support your favorite VFL on Sundays. Want to put your own flair on a tumbler? Game Time Sidekicks has you covered with options to add your own text or even a monogram on the back of your favorite team tumbler. To check out everything that Game Time Sidekicks has to offer, go to GameTimeSidekicks.com. Carry your team with Game Time Sidekicks.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Good morning, Swain Event crew. As the weather heats up, so does our market, and from Johnson City to Knoxville, eager buyers are grabbing up many available properties. The chili is hot in East Tennessee, so if you are ready to buy or sell or want to talk more about our local real estate market, I'm just a phone call away. Or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799. We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss PRP, platelet-rich plasma. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
Good to be back, Jason. We specialize in non-surgical orthopedics, so we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints, including rotator cuff injuries, knee injuries, and elbow and foot problems by using ultrasound-guided injections with PRP. And this form of treatment helps stimulate the body's own reparative process and assist in the healing of damaged tissue.
Doc, what makes your training different than others?
I've been practicing in Knoxville for over 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. They've been the leader in this form of treatment since 1983. I also teach this form of treatment on a national and international basis to other physicians, residents, and medical students. Here in our clinic, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own PRP, which are concentrated platelets, to treat your injury. So in other words, Jason, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Do what the pros, college athletes, and I have done, and visit them online at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in PRP therapy.
More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work-from-anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses.
Home service problems occur, even at the most inconvenient times, like during a health crisis. And Hiller is always here to help you 24/7. As people are social distancing and staying at home on workdays, it's an easier time to take care of home maintenance items that you feel are necessary. And we've put new safety precautions in place, like wearing gloves, avoiding physical contact, new sanitation protocols, and limiting time in your home. We're here for you.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Hour 3 here in the Swain Event is powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. As promised, going to the text box. Kentucky girl, well, Vol girl in Kentuckyville, excuse me, says...
You just offended her.
Well, she is Kentucky girl.
She's a Vol girl.
In Kentucky.
In Kentuckyville.
My bad, Vol girl. I'm sorry. Is Brian Maurer still with the team or at practice? He has not been at practice until it's official that he's not on the team. To me, he is on the team. And Hyper was asked about it yesterday and sidestepped the question by simply saying he is going to talk to Brian Maurer, have a conversation with him when he's asked directly if he was on the team or not. So we'll see.
Apparently, they are going to have a conversation today. Heupel and Maurer.
Yeah. 90s Vol says Jay's call regarding bust and speed related to culture. How many strength and conditioning coaches have we had in 12 years? One cornerstone of culture is strength and conditioning staff, which we've had 50 in that time period. Oh, I got a list right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 since, hold on. So 2009, you had Aaron Amos. 2010, you had Benny Wiley. 2011, 2012, you had Ron McKeefery. In 2013 and 14, you had Dave Lawson. And 15. 16, you had Mike Surgeon. 17, you had Rock Gollison. 18, you had Craig Fitzgerald. 19, you had Craig Fitzgerald. Last year, AJ Artis, and they have a new one this year. So, 90s Vol, you're absolutely right. That's absolutely right. With the coaching changes, you've had strength condition coaching changes. And even with coaches who were here, these coaches had different strength and conditioning coaches themselves. Dooley had 2. Butch had 2. Lane had 2. Pruitt had 2. So Coach Fulmer had 1. Johnny Long. So 90s Vol, that is 100% accurate because your strength and conditioning coaches are with your players more than anybody. So, good point. Kentucky, oh God. Vol girl in Kentuckyville says, I am from Cleveland, Tennessee, moved to Bowling Green when she got married 4 years ago. We are Vol strong here. She never misses a show. She appreciates us answering the question. Let's see here. Proud of the Southland Marching Band, marching to Nolen right now. Ooh, woo! That's one thing I miss about fall camp, man, is you get the band coming out there. They've been practicing as well, so they get a chance to have a little treat playing in front of the football team, and then we get a treat. I think I get more excited than the band gets when I see them come to fall camp. Man, you get the juices flowing. I will never forget our practices, being at the baseball field. And towards the end, when we start doing team, the band come in there and start playing Rocky Top and start playing that Gladiator song. Woo! Woo! Get fired up. All right, back to the text box. Dallas Vol says, have I seen Tony Basilio has a petition for Tennessee not to self-sanction? I saw it. Yeah, I saw it. I don't know what the petition is going to do. I have not seen online petitions work necessarily well when it comes to SEC football decisions. But it's a way to keep people engaged, I guess. But I don't know how much good it's going to do. I guess we'll see. But I have seen it. Let's go back to the phones. Who we got?
Gene.
Gene, good morning, Gene.
Good morning, Jason.
What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Got a thought about Brian Maurer.
Okay.
do you think that maybe he's being asked to do something other than be a quarterback?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, he's 6'3", 205, good hands, good feet.
Well, I think it's a way to
Go-
keep him on the team. I mean, sometimes
But we have another guy that was like that when he came here, quarterback, good hands, good feet.
Who's that?
Juwan Jennings.
Yeah.
Hey, he's not the athlete Jennings is, but I'm not saying he's going to be, but it could work out in everyone's favor.
If Brown Maurer moves a receiver and he's, one of the top guys, then I would look at the receivers who are currently receivers and look at them sideways and question them. I think Juwan is different. I think he's once in a decade type of situation. But I would not be surprised if Brown Maurer was asked to change positions because you want to keep him closer to the program, but you don't feel like he could be a quarterback because that's a leadership position, and you don't think he is capable of handling that. But when you put him on a team, you keep him on a team, you just put him in a different position.
That could explain his Instagram post about, like they killed my dream or whatever it was, the thing that he deleted and put back. I'm a soldier.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you want to be on a team, you want to do what's best for the team, then maybe playing a different position is best. But there's a responsibility when you are the quarterback. You are the leader. You are the leader. People look to you, and so if you're athletic like Brown Maurer and maybe you can help in some different ways, and you're asked to do that, then hey, you got to make a decision to make. Either do it or leave. Listen, Tim Tebow was asked to change positions.
You can't be passive-aggressive on Instagram and be the leader either.
Yeah. Tim Tebow was asked to change positions, and he didn't want to do it, so he didn't play anymore. So maybe that's going to be a topic of discussion between Heupel and Maurer. I don't know, but I just don't think quarterback needs to be in his future at Tennessee. I feel like that actually for a while. It's not new. If you listen to the show, you've kind of picked up on that.
That was all I had, guys. I hope you have a fabulous weekend.
You too, my friend. Who's next?
Vol Nation.
Oh, man.
Or Papa T in South Carolina.
Yeah, I got used to that. Vol Nation, good morning.
Good morning, family. How y'all doing, man?
Good morning.
Hey, man. It's just enjoying my little grandson and getting his UT outfit together so we can get ready, man. Listening to the show today, man, you guys got a great show as usual, man. I appreciate all the effort and the things you guys put into it. I think you guys were hitting the nail on the head earlier a little bit about the recruiting. Recruiting climate has changed a lot. And I think with the nation the way it is, it doesn't meet every criteria in every family, but there is a lot of fatherlessness in our nation. And so I think when you have a coaching staff like Josh Heupel has put together that seems to be more real, very genuine, very transparent, approachable, and the same in the dark as they is in the light. Same person that they were around the parents, they are around, the campus with the kids. Trust is developed, and, you develop relationship. And one thing I learned about leadership is that initially they may realize that, okay, he's the coach. Okay, I'm a do what he says do. But the next level of leadership is when you invest in the lives of people. And when you do that, and all of a sudden now they feel that, oh, I'm important to that person. So much so that they're spending time with me, they're encouraging me, they're investing in me, helping me to grow and helping me to build and become what I want to become. Then there's another level of leadership that is developed, and it becomes more personal. And I think that's what that culture that you're talking about that's being created around the campus that everybody's excited about, it becomes infectious and contagious, and everyone begins to buy into the vision, but also to begin to support one another. And I think that's where leadership is birthed in the midst of culture like that. And I think that's what you're starting to see, whether it's also, you hear all the time, Dabo, he has a particular kid that he's looking for and things of that nature. And I think not only that, also when you look at these coaches here, being able to evaluate talent, bring in quality kids, develop them, and then put a good product on the field. And I think that's what you're also seeing on the defensive side. I know we mentioned before that you were kind of concerned about the defense, and we should be, you know what I'm saying, because of what we've seen in the past. But I trust Rodney Gardner. I trust the secondary coach. I trust some of these guys I've seen before, and I think even though it was just one scrimmage, you're starting to see some of the fruit of their labor, and these kids are buying in. What do you think about that?
No, I trust Willie Martinez. I trust Rodney Gardner because I've seen what they've done in the SEC. And they could absolutely get every drop out of the players and still not be good enough just because of the lack of depth and the lack of talent in those positions. We have to continue to upgrade to compete with the top of the SEC. But yeah, I mean, I have a lot of confidence in what Rodney Gardner is going to do, what Willie Martinez is going to do. I don't know much about Brian John Marie. Look at his track record and see that he's coached with some really good coaches and really good programs. So bad coaches don't coach in situations like that. But still, I want to see it. I want to see the development there. I want to see it with my own two eyes. And then from a defense coordinator standpoint, don't know much about Tim Banks. I know some former Tennessee coaches know him from his days in the MAC, and we've had some former coaches in the MAC. So I've heard good things about him as a person, about his ability to communicate. But he has not been defense coordinator in his conference yet. So, I think he carries himself like a future head coach, no doubt about it. But the proof will be in the pudding, and
yeah, you're right.
He's going to need, he's going to need some more. He's going to need some more players. I mean, to really truly judge him. Like even when Bob Shoop had all the talent in the world and he wasn't successful, even then we were like, yo, something ain't right because this dude can coordinate. He did a good job at Vanderbilt, and then he proved that it wasn't him. He went to Mississippi State and almost won the Assistant Coach of the Year award. But we circled back and knew it affected him just like culture affected players. We'll see how Banks is able to put guys in position and be exotic with some of the things they do defensively to, I guess level out the lack of depth in the front. But yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you too much there, Vol Nation. I really not.
Well, I'm looking at this season, not on a hype train, nothing like that, but I see definitely can go 6-6. I'm seeing the potential of also being 7-5 if this defense can do something and be a little bit more than a speed bump. And the offense clicks, we got good quarterback play. I can see us going 7-5. And one thing about this, and I want to get your opinion on it. I can take this off the air, but this walk-on versus scholarship thing. In this transition, I was trying to think, now with the walk-on, they're more like regular students, right?
They are regular students.
Okay. So they don't have as many restrictions and stipulations pertaining to how they make profit and money and all that, right? Because they're not on scholarship, correct?
Well, before the rule change, I mean, they were under the same umbrella of rules. They couldn't go out and make money from their name and do anything like that. To use the fact they played Tennessee for gain, they couldn't do that either. So they were under the same umbrella of rules, but the only difference was that they paid for school. That's the only difference. They were part of the football team. The only difference is, you had to pay for school, but all the rules apply to them too.
Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out because I was thinking like with this shift, being a walk-on, they're looking at them as more of a regular student. They're having to pay for their scholarship, pay for all this, you know what I'm saying, even though they're part of the team and they have rules and regulations. Would it be a little bit more flexible for them? Would you eventually see maybe some of these top prospects, end up being in a walk-on like status, you know what I'm saying, giving them a little bit greater flexibility to have profit or income, pertaining to maybe, businesses and things of that nature, having a little bit more flexibility with them because they're not on scholarship. Does that make sense?
I mean, if you're referring to BYU has certainly shown the world of college football how you can use that warm, fuzzy story to exploit a loophole and get good players outside the 85 scholarship limit. I mean, so I'm sorry, but that's the first thing I thought about after, I felt all good inside.
Well, hey, man, like I said, we can use it to our advantage and get on our feet quicker, man. I'm all about it, man. But can't wait to game one. Me and Ms. Vol Nation will be there September 2nd, Thursday night, ready to see Bowling Green versus Tennessee, and hopefully we put up a lot of points and hopefully look good on defense so we can start off, fast rather than slow like we typically do and struggle. I want to see us go out there and compete at a high level and be successful. So can't wait for it, man. Love the show, man. Appreciate you guys, and y'all have a great weekend now, all right?
You too, my friend. Thank you so much. I just feel better when Vol Nation calls.
Because I joked earlier that I am Mr. Glass Half Full and Mr. Positivity. The true Mr. Positivity is Papa T from South Carolina. The true Mr. Glass Half Full is Vault Nation.
His glass is never half anything.
Yeah,
that's
true.
That's the thing. That's the difference between Vol Nation. Like you heard, the saying is, glass half full rather than glass half empty. Vol Nation doesn't let his glass even get to halfway.
That is very true.
You know how at Dead End Barbecue, you're grubbing, and now you got your water, and the waitress comes and tops it off at 3/4.
Uh-huh.
It never gets to halfway. That's Vol Nation, man. I just feel better.
He's the GOAT.
I think I'm gonna do some yard work now after listening to Vol Nations, man. His message, I just feel confident, man. I can't wait to cut some grass and weed eat. Let's get it. Pull some weeds. Let's go. All right. Text box. C-Mac, do we have enough bodies to have an effective blitz packages? Hey, man, you got 11 out there. You're going to play a 4-2-5. The amount of packages that you are able to execute depends on if the guys are able to handle it from a mental standpoint. You got to be able to have an understanding of what you're seeing. I think the fact that we have an experienced secondary is very important because they've played a lot of football. They understand splits. They understand, what the offense is trying to do, down and distance. And when you're trying to disguise things, it's very important that you have guys who are experienced because usually young players, they are a little bit more timid. They're not as comfortable to disguise things. They want to make sure they line up in the right spot. They don't mess anything up. But when you're a little bit older and you have a blitz and you have to be in this position when the ball is snapped, you can play games before the ball is snapped. And you have that trust of your coaches because the game slows down for you. You can do those things. But when you play young guys, they just there. I remember when Tennessee was playing Nigel Warrior as a true freshman because he was so special as a talent, but it kind of limited defensively how exotic we could be, and we played some cover too. We played some things a little bit easier for Nigel so he can be the player that he was athletically, but it forced you to kind of be more predictable in some things that you do. And that's just the way it is for a lot of freshmen coming in. So the fact that we have an older group, I think it should allow for Tim Banks to be exotic, as long as our older guys got halfway decent football intelligence.
Before we get out of here in 6 minutes, we have a very important shout out to give. We want to shout out Rodney and Austell this morning. Today is a special day for Rodney because he is headed to Georgia to drop off his son at college. Just a great day in Rodney's family, dropping off his son at Georgia. I know Rodney is so proud of dropping off his son at Georgia and just sending all that hard-earned money to the University of Georgia. I know Rodney is very proud this morning.
You ain't right, Ben. You ain't right. Rodney get to save some money on that tuition, though. That in-state tuition.
I think when Rodney's on campus today, go by the Bulldog shop or whatever they call it. I know when my parents dropped me off at Tennessee, my parents swung by and got Tennessee mom, Tennessee dad stickers to go on the car. I think Rodney should swing by the Bulldog shop and pick up a Georgia dad.
You ain't right, Ben.
Georgia dad sticker to go on his car and get him a Georgia dad T-shirt. to rock and wear. Just really support his son.
Refresh that page. I bet you there's a message from Rodney. I bet you there's
Mine
one.
come in automatically. I don't have to refresh, so it's good right now.
Let's see. Rodney come back with the comeback. Don't worry. At 901, not Rodney, but ATL VFL says, why is a good defense considered a bad scrimmage? So this is what is considered a bad scrimmage to me. When you have a bad scrimmage is when you have mental errors that is way more than it needs to be. You're always going to have a winner and loser with a scrimmage. And you want interceptions made by the defense, making good plays. Offensively, you don't want interceptions. You want pass breakups from the DBs, but then the receiver, you want that receiver to catch the ball in traffic. So you're always going to have that. But if you have mental mistakes where guys are not lined up properly, guys not knowing the situation, face mask, hitting your teammate or he's hung up to dry, false starts, lack of discipline with putting the ball on the ground when the defense really didn't rip at the ball, just poor ball security, that's when you get pissed, and that's when you can look at it as a bad scrimmage if it's in excess. That's what I would categorize as a bad scrimmage to me. When mentally you got mistakes all over the football field, punt return, dropping punts, because you didn't bring your focus to Neyland Stadium, and I will be livid as a coach because anytime you step in between the white lines, your focus should come with you, and especially if you walk up in Neyland Stadium. You should never have a bad practice when it comes to focus inside of Neyland Stadium. That is disrespectful to the great general. So that's what I would look at as a bad practice. Cliff says, does that mean Juwan Jennings should get a Gator Dad bumper sticker? Yes, I love it.
Rodney should embrace the Georgia Dad sticker. Keon has a Georgia Dad sticker after that dunk he had against Georgia this year. Admiral has Mississippi State Dad. I mean, it's all good. Embrace it. You should be proud of your son.
Oh, man. RG1 says you can only bring 70 guys with you on the road. Yes, in SEC games. And can still only dress a certain amount of kids at home, right? Seems like playing walk-ons wouldn't really help that much considering there are only so many spots available. I think it's great to have their school pay for it, though. You can leave anybody at home that you want to leave. RG1, you can leave folks at home. You don't have to take scholarship players on the road. You're going to take the best 70.
I think his overall point in his comment is he doesn't understand how paying the walk-ons is a benefit. Like how is that a huge, serious competitive advantage?
Because you have a limit of scholarships, but you don't have a limit of people that can be on the team. There is a limit of people that can travel in SEC games, which is 70. But that doesn't mean that you have to take scholarship players in that 70. I don't know the number for home game SEC games, but that doesn't mean you have to have an entire group of scholarship players, walk-on players that will pay for. What if you just had 4 or 5 walk-on players that got their school paid for, but they were just as good as the scholarship players? We can see from the transfer portal that 4 or 5 players can make a difference. Look at the players that we lost. So, yes, like if schools took the BYU route, they could make their team better if they wanted to. It would be curious to see if other teams decide to do it. in the next couple months, maybe a year or so. It's just worth monitoring. That's all. If we at the limit and you can pay Walter Nolen to be a walk-on player, would you?
Yeah, but that's not. I don't think that's gonna happen.
I ain't say it was gonna happen because it ain't gonna happen. I said if you were at the limit of scholarships, you had a player of Walter Nolen's caliber that you could get, but the only way you can get him was him being a walk-on player, and to prevent him from having to pay, you would take care of it. The question is, would you do it? The answer is, let me answer it for you. The answer is yes, because we all would do it if you could without getting in trouble.
But would the caliber of player of Walter Nolen do it? No.
I wouldn't.
I
wouldn't care as long as I don't get an invoice to my house. Want me to pay for school? I don't care if it's scholarship or not. I ain't paying for it. Who cares?
That's true.
I don't care.
But I guess there's got to be like a hang up. So there's got to be some type of difference. There has to be. I don't know.
It's not. If you don't get an invoice, your school's paid for, and I don't care if I'm on scholarship or if I'm not. All I know is I'm playing football. I don't have to pay for school. I'm good. Let's go. For Ben McKee, I'm Jason Swain. Hope you have a great weekend. We'll be back on Monday morning, 7 a.m. Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Peace and love. We are out. Have a good one.